The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
20.
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Damn it!
be a friend, tell a friend something nice, could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Draft Spectacular Week, Monday, April 22nd, 2024. This sports program starts now.
Sports!
Are amazing, and we're lucky to talk about them every single day on this glorious channel that is ESPN, on YouTube, on ESPN Plus, and on TikTok Live. Look out.
Yeah.
TikTok has 9 months to sell. Okay? 9 months to sell. I broke some news this weekend in the world of government voting.
Yeah.
TikTok's future is officially in question. Sources are telling me, okay, what am I supposed to do? I get this information. What am I supposed to do? The world needs to hear this. They got 9 months to be sold, okay? So I don't know when this was officially going to get announced, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, we need to get this out there now. We need this to get sold in 9 months. We cannot be losing TikTok. It is a fascinating platform.
Sure.
Now, I understand why there's potentially some issue. From what I've heard, both sides are seemingly very loud about it. One side not allowed to have any other platforms in their particular country. One side does. There's a lot of shit going on. All we know is in 9 months we need some bazillionaire to buy that. Yeah. So we can continue to rock on there. On Thursday night for our Draft Spectacular, we'll be on ESPN Plus. We'll be on YouTube. We'll be on ESPN.com. We'll be on TikTok Live. Once again.
Yeah.
Need that to get fixed.
Could be the last time.
Somebody needs to buy that. Somebody needs to buy that. Starting at 7:30 on Thursday with the Draft Spectacular kickoff into the Draft Spectacular. We'll also be on Facebook.
What?
Oh!
We cured it.
There it is. That's huge.
We're on
cured
Meta.
it.
We're on Meta.
I believe, now we don't know exactly how to do it because just like everybody else in our generation, as soon as remember I wasn't going to say the word. The olds.
People who have been here longer than us.
More experienced, the wiser. Well, not always, actually, because with the way we're learning things now at the rapid rate that we are, we caught up pretty quickly. But nonetheless, not all are wiser. Mostly wiser, though, have certainly lived here more, been around long. They just took over Facebook.
Yes.
If you remember, they came in and said, this is ours now, and we're going to share these things. And then it became like a national talking point because algorithms were kind of taking advantage of older people. And anyways, still live on there, from what I've been told.
Okay.
So we're going live on Facebook so that a generation gets to experience what we are lucky to experience, which is Bill Belichick live with us throughout the entirety of the draft and hosting the Draft Spectacular Kickoff. So this is one of the biggest weeks of our show's existence every single year. We'll be live in Detroit. We cannot wait to get up there. We're so incredibly thankful that we do. Also, this past weekend, we hope you had a great 420. We hope you celebrate responsibly, legally. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Certainly don't do it. But if it is your thing and makes you happier, healthier, and live a better life, I hope you had a great time on that 420. We went on the roof of Vicino here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we were able to smoke CBD up there and burned a little sage for the good holiday. It was a blast. But as we're doing all these things, we're watching amazing sports.
Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, we got playoffs in the NBA and the NHL, so we'll have both of those covered in abundance today. Steve Levy will be joining us in the second hour to chit-chat a little bit about the hockey. Great coverage out of ESPN this weekend. Mark Messier was chasing PK Subban, friend of the program, with the Stanley Cup because if you haven't won it in the hockey world, you're not allowed to touch it. You're only allowed to touch it if you win it. Messier said, you're retired. You're retired. What are you doing? You can touch it now. You're done. You're done. He goes, I might be a strength coach, Mess. I might go back and be a strength coach. He's thinking he still might win one of these things outright, so he's going to live up to the, I'm not touching it. The host there, Steve Levy, will be joining us in the second hour. We'll also have Ryan Smith, the new owner of the Utah NHL team, also the owner of the Utah Jazz. Basketball, hockey happening at the same time. We'll be excited to see how he balances that, although a lot of other cities have been able to do that. We'll have Jay Will on in the first hour to talk about this NBA playoffs, which has been magnificent.
Yeah.
Electrifying. there's been superstars that have been created in these playoffs over the years past. This year is going to be no different. Ant-Man is taking over the world.
Yeah.
Dame time is seemingly all the time now that Giannis is out and it's Dame's team. He had 35 points in the first half against the Indiana Pacers yesterday. He was shooting at a bigger hoop.
Damn.
We're shooting at a bigger hoop. Daniel Jeremiah will join us in the third hour to talk about the draft and things that he's hearing. And in a matter of moments, Adam Shefter will be joining us to break it down. So we're going to try to cover everything that took place. Big NASCAR win, too. Down in Talladega. Michael Jordan, team 2311, gets their first win with Michael Jordan on premise. Go to victory lane. Shout out to NASCAR. We covered it, didn't we?
Hell yeah.
Talks tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. I like the Bear. It's a big week. The Bears, for certain on Thursday, are changing their organization entirely.
For sure. Also, the Boston Bruins. I don't know if you know, it's kind of a bear, the Bruin, if you will.
That's an orange bear. That is a Chicago
Oh,
bear.
absolutely. This shirt at first was definitely bought in mind. Like, you know what? I bet Zito, I'd get a good pop out of him, you know, if I were to wear a shirt like this. However, after looking at the closet this morning, they're all hanging up, of course, on hangers, and I said, oh, it's Boston Bruins. They're playing tonight. I got to wear a bear for the bees. Come on.
You got it. Well, whatever the case, however it worked out, the Chicago Bears are going to have a big swing on Thursday night. They have 2 picks in the top 10, one of them being the first overall pick. I have heard from sources that we're probably never going to have anybody from the Chicago Bears on this particular program. Ever.
Yeah, excommunicado.
Yeah, I do believe that is potentially what happened. Or plug there, either, we don't know if the plug left or got fired or whatever the case is. But we were reminded of some things that we potentially had said in the past, maybe about certain former Big Ten commissioners.
Sure.
That had little deals and chose not to play football.
Boo-hoo.
Now he's running NFL. Okay. Anyways, we are pumped for the Chicago Bears fans because this should certainly be a week in which you think you can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because you might. You get a quarterback at number 1 that you love in Caleb Williams, and he said he's chasing 12. He was on the Pivot podcast. He wants to play for the same team for 20 years. He wants to take over. He wants to be the best. His home screen on his phone basically lays out, yep, there it is, just beating everybody. Don't get bored with consistency, hey, let's not get bored with being great. So he's got a reminder for him on his phone every time he looks up. Me, I got my baby.
Nice.
This is the thing you put on there that you want to think about whenever you look down at your phone. Now, most of us are on our phone way too much, so we don't see the home screen as much because we're active. Sure. But whenever you pull that phone out of your pocket, you want to look down and see something. Caleb Williams says, I wrestled with my teammates at my pro day. They like me.
Yep.
And also, let's go beat Tom Brady. Why not go beat Tom Brady in this entire thing? Feels like he's going to be a home run. Will the Chicago Bears win with him? We shall see. Draft Spectacular night should be wild. They're talking about a lot of trades happening.
Yeah.
One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys tone. Did you hear tone? For this draft happening on Thursday, they're talking trades. There's odds movement at every single draft pick, seemingly, especially at 1, 2, or at 2, 3, and 4 right now. How do we know what's real, what's not? Everything's a guessing game. How do we bet on any of it?
I mean, at this point, you honestly have no idea what's real, like especially at the top.
Are they a part of it? Are they a part of the intrigue of the draft? And are they just moving shit just to move shit?
Why not?
Maybe.
Because as soon as it happens, we go, wait a minute, let's go ahead and see what this is. Now, how many millions do they potentially lose if they're just moving shit without information? Certainly. But if somebody's giving them some info, whatever it is, because they're hearing different shit than us, and allegedly they just look at what we have, it's like, they had J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy to 2.
Yes.
Just made a big jump. It went from plus 1,400 to plus 800. It's like, wait a minute, not as long of a shot as it was just last week. What does this mean? Is everything going to get tight as we get closer to the draft spectacular? Like, were the long odds what you could get a week before the draft as opposed to right now? It's like, I don't know. Number 2 overall pick, it's just like things are moving at the 3 overall pick. It's like, how do any of them know? Are we all guessing and we're all just trying to figure out what happened in Topgolf and for the Washington Commanders?
There is a shit ton of guessing going on. Like with J.J. McCarthy at 2 there, he's still plus 800. He's still a pretty long shot to go number 2 overall compared to Daniels in May. But like it's all guessing, and some of it is definitely reporting. Like they're definitely moving odds based on reporting, but I think they're also moving it because they could get screwed here. The books can get absolutely screwed here. So I think a lot of it is liability. So let's say they take a huge bet on J.J. McCarthy to go number 2. That could be the reason why the odds move from plus 1,400 to plus 1,800.
Oh, a shop.
Yeah, if they say they get more J.J. McCarthy money, they're only playing out plus 800 versus the plus 1,400. So I think it's a mixture of news versus liability on their back end, so that at the end, because this is the only time of the year where the books know just as much as we do, they just don't want to get hit as hard as they possibly could.
So Shefter released something this morning called 2024 Draft Notes, Intel, colon.
Oh,
There's a semicolon and there's full colon.
yeah,
That's
makes
huge.
sense.
And then we have colons as well.
Yes.
Humans.
Of course.
We do.
So it's also it's a pretty important word in our entire thing. What Adam Shefter is hearing by Adam Shefter.
Okay.
I like that.
What if in there he was like, Shefty got a text last week.
Oh, I
Might have.
wish.
If he's just going full on The Rock,
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Yep.
He should.
that would be amazing. Well, you see it right there in the title. Now, I would assume there's another headline maker, not
Sure.
Adam Shefter. He
Sure.
sends this in, somebody makes the headline or whatever. But if Adam Schefter's like, you know what's missing from that title? Need a colon?
Yep.
Okay, 2024 draft notes, Intel. That's not real grabby.
This isn't popping enough.
Put one of those semicolon. Put a semicolon. Nah, full
Full,
colon.
yep, full stop.
And then what Adam Shefter is hearing. Don't you think? Need no question mark at the end. Okay, don't need a question mark at the end. People will understand what we're trying to do here. You put my name on things, people know I've actually heard it in there. He's pretty matter of fact about some shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's about to come up on this draft. I assume a lot of the odds makers at a lot of these
for
sports
sure.
books read this and were like, okay, now we're going to change some things. 6:20 a.m. Can't wait till we catch up with him here in a matter of moments. He's driving right now, probably going to be with a GM.
Okay.
that makes
Probably
sense.
into it. Let's talk about the NBA and the NHL weekend that was. Home teams 14-0 in the NBA and the NHL. Now, there was a game in Winnipeg.
Oh, my God.
That was fantastic. In Winnipeg, I couldn't even, if there was an empty map of Canada, okay, and they said, Pat, go ahead and pin this particular whatever, Mountie, horse. Pin this horse.
Got 100 chances.
Pin this 100. And it's big, so there's a lot of different options
Exactly.
where the leg of the horse isn't going to take up a city and then the shoulder is going to be in another city. I could not guess for the life of me where the hell it is, but I do know it's a place I would like to be one time. That barn last night was fantastic. Colorado, obviously, Stanley Cup Golden Knights Stanley Cup champs. Colorado before that, Stanley Cup champs. You're talking about a very good team in the Western. Look at this place going bananas. Full whiteout, full commitment, full banana home place environment. And it was like that all weekend. It felt like for every sport of every single game. I think the fans have shown up. That's what I've seen most out of the NBA and the NHL playoffs thus far.
Yeah, which is awesome too, because the NBA, there was none of this. There were no close games where it was, electrifying. Most of the NBA games, aside from the one last night to wrap it up with OKC, they were all blowouts. The NHL playoffs, though, that's kind of what they offer. That is so much different than the NBA. Is that the NBA, you're just trying to get to those final four, those final eight. NHL, start to finish, whether you're the one seed or the last seed, is electric. And I feel like the Winnipeg showed that the best. I mean, obviously the Bruins just beat the shit out of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, they dog walked.
Dog walked.
Patty Maroon's throwing bodies into the Bruins bench.
What did we say was going to happen?
Well, you said it. You said it for sure.
Big rig. But we all knew. We know what the big rig brings to teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, he answered a text and said, I'll go on national TV to shit talk biz real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dog.
The guy prints Stanley Cups. Like that's what he does. That is why he is in Boston. But that game was fantastic. And then there were a couple comebacks, like Joker and the Nuggets. They were down for a while against the Lakers. And then second half, we're like, okay, let's remember who we are. Let's remember, the beef between these two teams. But some of the series will end up going. Some of them will be absolute dog shit. Like the ones versus the eights won't be great, matchups, at least for the NBA. But again, like in the NHL, no matter what game it is, just turn it on because there's a chance that you get a 7-6 Winnipeg absolute barn.
It felt a little bit like March Madness.
Truly.
I was bouncing from an NBA game over to an NHL game and then back to an NBA game. And then, Scotty Scheffler's playing golf.
How about that?
This guy should have taken a week off, shouldn't he? Well, no, he's on a heater right now.
Yeah.
So he's going to continue to play. It was awesome.
It's absurd.
It was literally just like bouncing back and forth from all of that. They had a rain delay. Obviously, that's not fun in the golf world, but it was a fantastic weekend of sports. We'll continue to chat with that as the day rolls on. Joining us now is a man who released a column this morning on ESPN.com.
That's right.
Called 2024 Intel, Notes, the hell does Adam Shefter know? Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Shefter. Shefty, how are you, pal?
Hello there, gentlemen. What's going on?
Hey, thank you for joining us. We know you're in the middle of driving somewhere, so pulling off to the side of the
I
road.
got out. I pulled over. That's what I did. I pulled over.
All right, don't get shot. Don't die. That would not be good for any, especially on draft
Yeah,
week.
not on draft week.
Especially on draft week. Can't have that happening, okay? Shefty, we appreciate you taking time for us. Great sweater there, huh?
That is nice.
Ooh,
Cashmere?
That's a good
Cashmere,
sweater.
yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
Knitted?
Thank you.
Where are you headed, Shefty? You got a meeting, big time meeting? It looks like a.
You know what? Just running around the day before I leave for Detroit, about 10,000 things going on, and
Oh, we're wasting the time. Yeah, got it. Okay. So, hey, did you write the headline of the column? Who writes the title of the column? Because we were hoping you would maybe go into third person Shefty this week.
no, I would never use third person. In fact, Dane Beavers is the editor at ESPN. Did a great job putting everything together, and he sent me like a proposed lead to the column that he wrote. You know, like here's what I'm here. I'm like, I will never use the word I. I can't stand it in writing. So let's take any of that out. Like, I will be in Detroit. No. The ESPN and its draft team will be in Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Team guy. Team guy. Humble. We appreciate that out of
Need
you.
that, Shefty.
Colin, what is Adam Schefter? Team guy.
Yeah, so if you want to blame somebody, blame Dane for that, but that's him, not me, and he did a great job with this.
I mean, Dane Beavers has got the look of so much moxie.
Wow.
Yeah, Dane, that baby Dane.
Okay, Beav.
That's good Beavers right here.
All right, leave it to Beav.
Hey, you're damn right, leave it to Beavers.
I love the attention going where it belongs to the people who don't get a lot of attention.
Beavers,
like Dane
Beavers. Great work out there, Beavers. All right, let's move into this. In that article that was titled After You, By You, you basically talked about how Minnesota is trading or attempting to trade up to number 3 overall to draft, I believe, Drake May in there. Now, I wasn't able to read the entire thing. Ty did. I just kind of got a transcription through the wonderful brain that is his, but that's big news, it feels like. So Minnesota's the team that is most actively trying to move up because we've heard about the Giants. We've heard about a couple other teams. It's Minnesota trying to go get a quarterback, and if it's Drake May, that makes sense because they got Sam Darnold for the year. Is that what you're hearing, or how do we get to this information, and what are your thoughts on it?
Well, here's where we're at, essentially. New England's going to listen to teams that call. The two teams, in my mind, that I've been able to ascertain that have been the most active calling up to number 3 have been the Minnesota Vikings, number 1, and I think second, if we're going to quantify it, is the New York Giants. Those are the two teams that have expressed an interest in moving up to number 3. Now, whether they can get up to number 3 is a whole other issue. Whether New England is willing to go back is a whole other issue. It's going to take a lot. And so I don't know ultimately that New England is going to move off that pick. New England may just stay right where it is. And so if you're the Vikings, and I also think, by the way, yes, I said Drake May, but I also think that in a perfect world, the Vikings would have a high degree of interest, as would other teams, in Jaden Daniels. But I still think, as we talked about, that Jaden Daniels is the favorite to be number 2. So if Daniels goes number two, obviously he's not going 3. If he goes to 3, the price of 3 goes up a lot if the Commanders decide not to take that pick. But I think the Commanders, in the end, will opt for Daniels. That's my read on it. And if they do, then I think we got the Vikings, who have expressed the most interest in coming up to number 3. The Giants have expressed some as well. And the Patriots very likely are possible to just sit where they're at and pick from number 3.
I think the last time we chatted with you, you said there's a lot of maneuvering with that number 2 overall pick. There you said you think Daniels goes number 2. Then at the end you said you still think Commanders go with Daniels at 2. Is that a interesting situation? Is that kind of cemented itself, or what do you?
I think here's the thing. I think we saw the agent tweet about it last week, right? Not being particularly pleased that it was 4 quarterbacks in, that Jaden Daniels didn't have more face time with the Commanders. But the fact of the matter is this is the draft. This is not free agency. You know, Jaden Daniels is going to go where he's drafted, and he's going to be happy about it. And if it is, in fact, Washington that drafts him, then I think Jaden Daniels is going to be perfectly content to go to Washington and be the face of the franchise and take over as the quarterback of the Commanders. And that's the way I continue to think it's trending to go. Now, the Commanders have not finalized that decision. Could they change their mind? Sure. Could something happen? Sure. Could a team make a last-minute offer? Sure. Anything's possible. Draft week and things happen. But if you're asking me the most likely scenario is that the Commanders stay at 2 and take Jaden Daniels, in my mind.
Okay, cool. And then the Patriots most likely probably stay at 3 and take their quarterback.
Well, they're less likely to stay. They're going to listen. Well, how about this?
Yeah.
They're more likely to move the pick than the Commanders, but I still think the odds favor them staying where they are. How about that?
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we're at like 74% probably for the Patriots.
Okay.
78% probably.
Let's say 75% they stay where they are. I hate to put percentages on this because
No, but it is. It's just this is to paint a picture. This is to paint a picture. You'd have the Commanders
exactly. I think the Commanders are likely to stay at 2 and pick their quarterback. I think the Patriots are a little less likely than the Commanders to stay at 3, but still more likely than not to make that pick at 3. And it's up to a team this week to change the Patriots' mind, which could happen.
Hey, it's not 100%.
No.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Not
still up
100%.
in the
You
air.
know what I mean? It's still up in the air. There's a chance you could weasel in there and go, hey, I got a deal for you. And then maybe because you fall back, Penix is going to be available. So you can still get a great quarterback in Penix. How are we feeling about Penix? The heat about Penix? Because I think the boys mentioned how there's been a couple different reports about where Penix could be. Some people see him as maybe very early. Some people see him maybe drifting back. He was minus 130, I think, to be a first-round draft pick last week. That feels like a hammer. Dahn on that particular one from the way I view Michael Penix and how talented he is. What is the sound on Michael Penix, Shefty?
Here's the thing. What's interesting about this, and it's true for all these guys, is the draft experts, the Mel Kipers, the Field Gates of the world, they all have their rankings, and then it's how the coaches and front offices see these guys, the quarterbacks, wide receivers, whoever. And there may be a team out there that loves Michael Penix, and you're starting to hear chatter, whether it's true or not, that the Falcons like him, that the Raiders like him. The Seahawks offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, coached him last year. The Seahawks offensive line coach was in Washington last year. They're very familiar. I don't think the medicals with Michael Penix Jr. are as much of an issue as people thought they would be. The teams that I've spoken to feel pretty good about where he's at. He's basically on teams' boards. They haven't taken him off. They haven't adjusted. There are some guys that have medical question marks. Michael Penix, surprisingly, is not one that I'm hearing about. So he's got a basic clean bill of health for a lot of teams. And, there's only so many quarterbacks to go around. There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. And so all those elements together tell me that my suspicion is that he's got a real chance to go in round 1. I think that that's a strong possibility.
I think so, yeah. Just from watching him play football, especially with the pro style that Washington was in facets. I'm not saying the entire thing was pro style, but they had facets of the offense that was pro style, and the way they ran their day-to-day under DeBoer, very professional style. He played a lot of football, had a lot of success, and then he runs a 4.4. It's like, bill of health, I think is good. If you can get your knees.
Pat, if it weren't for the 2 ACLs in the shoulders, we might be talking about him as a top 10. And now when you talk to these teams, the teams that I've spoken to have not put a red flag on him medically. They don't sound concerned about the knees right now. Now, the injury history is what it is, but the teams I've spoken to do not sound overly alarmed by where he's at medically right now.
Him and Odunze. I mean, when was the last time you thought about the Roman Empire or whatever? It's like Penix was, as soon as he saw one-on-one, played which I loved, because that's an NFL. That's old school NFL stuff. Okay, my guy is better than your guy. It's one-on-one. We have a run play right now. Who cares? I'm going right to my guy. I love that run Washington had. They ran into a buzzsaw that is at that one school.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Up north.
In Ann Arbor.
All right,
There it is.
Shefty.
Yeah.
Ty has a question for you, brother.
Yeah, Shefty, another guy who you kind of intimated that could potentially go in the first round, Bo Nix. Early on, it was like, hey, there's a chance that he's going to go in the first round and he'll be in part of this run. And then it's kind of slipped away. But you mentioned something with the Rams, that Les Snead was a GA at Auburn while Bo Nix's dad played quarterback there. So there was maybe a chance that Bo Nix goes at 19 because of that relationship. Do you think it's a certainty at this point that Bo Nix is probably going to be a first-round pick as well?
Again, I view Penix and Nix as ones. I do.
Okay.
And so I think there's a real possibility. I would almost guarantee we're getting a minimum of 5 quarterbacks in round 1 at some point or another. And then the question is whether the 6th one makes it in. And I would think, like Bo Nix, you mentioned, the Rams general manager, Les Snead, went to school with his father, played or coached at Auburn when Patrick Nix led them to a great season. The Rams, it's an interesting spot. I think they're a sleeper team on a quarterback. I go back to Seattle. Bo Nix visited Seattle, had a great visit there. Just a lot of, talk there. There's talk that Denver could move back in the round and take Bo Nix at some point in time later on in round one. And so there's just too many teams that need quarterbacks in my mind. The Raiders, there's too many teams that need them and not enough of them, which is why, in my mind, we're getting a minimum of 5 in round one and probably 6.
Early, too? Because, normally in these drafts, when there's a run on things, teams get scared that they're going to lose out because there's only so many. Like a wide receiver a few years back, it was like wide receiver. Oh, shit. You heard some teams go, we got to get up here before they're all gone. Is it going to be like that this draft for a couple different positions?
Yeah, I would not be surprised. I had one team tell me that they thought that there could be 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 24 picks. 24, that there could be 6 off the board by then. And so that would not be a surprise in my mind at all. And I can tell you this, all these teams that aren't in the quarterback market, they're like, let's go quarterbacks. They
Jim
want
Harbaugh.
Because every time one of these quarterbacks goes, the team at 19, the team at 20, the team at 21, there's one more player that slides right down to them that they weren't banking on. And so
all those teams. Imagine those teams coming out and being like, Bo Nix is so good. Just
Brady.
leaking it out. Bo Nix is so good.
Future.
Oh, Penix, what are we talking about? He's Tua, but taller.
Most accurate player.
Oh, what are we even talking about? I mean, that is.
Yeah, that's why when you talk to some front offices, you're right. Like they're like, oh, these guys definitely should be ones. Definitely should be ones.
Good. We need 10 of these. You guys haven't talked about the guy out of Dayton yet. This guy can spin it at the University of Dayton. He might sneak up. Connor's got a question for you, Shefty.
Yeah, Shefty, another thing you wrote in your article is that the Cardinals at 4 are also receiving calls, but they're probably not making a move until they're actually on the clock. Assuming assuming that the first 3 go as you think that they will go, or at least is likely to. Are the Vikings probably in the realm of trading up to 4 to get JJ if they miss out on the top 3? And also, is there maybe like a mystery team that might love Marvin Harrison Jr. because his dad played somewhere, and that team might trade up to get him as a wide receiver, to take a wide receiver at 4?
Yeah, did you write about that?
Yeah, any chance there, or is it going to be QB at 4 too?
A good question, Connor. Here's what I would say. The Cardinals' pick is for sale, but no sales are final until they're on the clock. And even then, I think 4 is going to be a tough spot to get to for some teams. I just don't know in the end that Arizona is going to be willing to give up the chance to get the top wide receiver in this draft to move out of that spot to get extra picks. Could it happen? Look, the Cardinals were brilliant last year in the way they manipulated the draft. Monty Ossenfort, their general manager, went from 3 to 12 to 6, got everything he wanted, more picks. It was brilliant. It was great. And they're going to be open to doing the same thing. But let's just assume that it's Minnesota, which is the most likely team in my mind, to trade up. Is Minnesota going to give up all the compensation that it needs to get up to 4 when it might be able to do it at 5? Or, if the Giants aren't going quarterback, then Minnesota might be able to sit where it is. Or if you're worried about a team jumping you and you just want to lock it in, you trade up to Tennessee at 7 or Atlanta at 8, and you go there and you get your quarterback at that spot. That's what Minnesota has to weigh. How high is too high? And there really is no price that's too high if you believe in a quarterback at all. So it's a case where Minnesota's a team to watch. And once the 3 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, which we all expect in whatever order it is, then we start to see who's going to be moving up to number 4 or 5 or 7 or whatever it is. But somebody's going to try to move up at some point in time.
I'm excited for the Colts to be the ones to do it.
Hell yeah.
Just whenever the clock's getting low, and I think he's getting an update right now from somebody, maybe the wife saying, where are you? Supposed to be somewhere. Yeah, I was driving and I pulled over.
You get some, exactly. I thought you were going to be home here, doing the 1,000 things. All good. We're
yeah, and I just turned on my TV. You're sitting on there. Interesting. From the front of a very public place. There's been people walking behind. Where are you right now?
I'm in front of some drugstore. My wife had me pick up some medication for her, but it's closed. I don't know what the hell it's closed for in the middle of the day on a Monday.
Jeez.
These siestas that are happening. It's moving into some places, lunches or whatever, moving into some spots. We have a couple here in Indianapolis. That was alarming to me, because I just assume all day we're going.
Yeah.
Just businesses. Yeah. Europe, I think they take a break. I think there are some other places they take a break. So just like, hey, need to go pick this up. You get there, and it's like, we're not back for another 90 minutes, brother. It's like, where are you?
I'm on lunch.
I'm eating lunch. Where? Right there? Well, I need 90 minutes. I'm off the clock.
Sorry.
Pharmacies.
The whole store is? Holy
Pharmacies do that. Pharmacies
Yeah.
usually take off like either noon to 1 or noon to 2 a lot of the time.
It's a real pain in the ass sometimes.
It's great. But hey, as long as you guys are okay.
Yeah.
Pharmacists were doctors there. You remember that? Oh, yeah. They were doctors there for a few years. That was wild.
A lot of people.
Tone's got a question for you.
Yeah, Shefty.
Last one here, Shefty, before we cause more problems.
Shefty, in that article today, it talked about how the Chiefs are keeping an eye on wide receiver because of a potential suspension to Rashee Rice. Do we know what that suspension could possibly be? And are they going to have to move up? Or because I saw a couple mocks at 32 going Xavier Worthy or Ladd McConkey or A.D. Mitchell, one of those guys. Are they going to move up? Or are they going to sit? Are they cool with sitting where they're at?
To combine your question with Connor's question before, I think we haven't heard yet about a team that is going to make a big play to move up for a wide receiver. And I just think that with all the wide receiver talent, at some point in this draft, it wouldn't be a surprise. I don't know whether it's Kansas City or somebody else, but somebody may covet one of these wide receivers, whether it's the top 3 that everybody seems to love, or whether it's some of the other guys that are considered first-round picks. Now, with the Chiefs, we don't know exactly when any discipline for Rashee Rice would kick in. We don't know how long it's going to be, but I think everybody across the league is operating under the assumption that it's going to be multiple games that he's going to face at some point in time. And the question is when that would come down, how the legal process plays itself out. There's a lot of questions that still need to be answered, but clearly there's going to be discipline ahead for him from the NFL. And the Chiefs would have been in the wide receiver market anyway prior to any issues with Rice. They had receivers that led the league in drops last year. They needed more help. They added Hollywood Brown. Still could use more help. And they also, by the way, could use a left tackle. They don't really have somebody that they can rely on right now. So even though they're the defending world champs, they've got some holes that they really do have to address this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wide receiver, offensive line. They also could use some help along the defensive line.
Hey, first night there, draft spectacular. It's going to be a Zambelli fireworks show, huh? Is that what you're expecting?
Look, the draft is always fun, and I said this to you on Friday. I love Mel saying, it's the most unpredictable. Every draft, let's be very clear.
Right.
Next year's draft is going to be unpredictable.
Okay,
the year
right.
after, it's going to be unpredictable. Every draft is unpredictable.
Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, Shefty. Get on with your day. Safe travels to Detroit. We'll see you up there.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys with your friend Bill Belichick. That'll be fun.
How about that? Does he hate you? You guys get along or no?
We get along well.
He didn't send you to lose my number, bro?
No, he's never told me that, but maybe he feels that sometimes. But
no,
did you and Aaron? Sonny Weaver in draft day.
Did you? Kevin Costner's an absolute weapon. Have you?
You ever see that clip, Pat?
Are you in it?
I got a fun clip for you. I'm going to post later this week.
Ed, please do. Adam Schefter's in it. I can't wait to see it. You and Aaron patch things up yet? You guys send a couple of text messages?
I have no issues with Aaron. I admire and respect the guy. I have no issues with him. Zero. Right. You have to ask him that.
Well, that's why I was asking you. I don't really want to, because I don't want to bring it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Shefter, we appreciate you. Hey. Go ahead. Ask Adam Shefter what I told him whenever he texted me trying to say something dumb or something like that. And we go, what did he say? I said, lose my number, bro. And then Schefter screenshots
5 minutes later.
And goes, he is telling the truth.
Yeah, source is confirmed.
That is what he told. That was awesome. As we pivoted into, a different sport, I can't wait for Thursday night.
So pumped.
I know.
I mean, you ran through about 45 different scenarios there where I don't think I could keep up with all of it, but what I heard was a lot of shit.
Sure.
People are trying to move up.
A lot of stuff's going on.
So anytime you hear a lot, because we're going to be honest, okay? When we signed up to this draft spectacular, and if you've heard us talk before about it, you've heard our kind of pleas about this, but we had no idea we were signing up for night one.
Nope.
We had no clue that thing was 5 hours long. We got to pick 10, and it was like, we're nowhere near halfway done with this thing. It is a long night.
Yeah.
There is a lot of down. That's why Bill Belichick being there is legendary.
Game changer.
I mean, the amount of peppering of just hey, Bill, because who knows what's going to pop up with what a team's going to decide to do, what that's going to maybe reference the whole conversation. Like, very thankful that a man who literally has a never-ending supply of knowledge about football in his brain is going to be there, because there's some dog days of this draft on Thursday night. People forget you're still in the middle of it at 24.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you get to pick 24. That's a long way in.
2 hours left.
Yeah, you still have some time. So we will be very grateful for those of you that will join us. It should be a blast. Tone Diggs will be operating the board that Bill Belichick is putting together with Field Yates. And it is going to be like an actual draft board. And we're going to be able to listen to exactly what Bill thinks is about to happen with the next pick, because of him doing scouting on what a team needs, what they potentially could go with. He's not going to give guaranteed predictions. He said, I don't know that, but here's the idea. And then looking back on what pick was just made, and then we got film. We got the best film we've ever had.
For sure.
Put together, that Bill pieced together himself alongside NFL Films. So Bill and NFL Films have put film together to showcase each person that gets drafted, what they do good, what they don't do good, what is a good expectation of what is happening here. And I think coming from Bill's brain, it should be pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for it. As we pivot from the NFL in a week where so much shit can happen, there's still free agents available.
Oh, yeah. Good ones.
There's still, and there's big contracts that are still sitting out there that could be a part of trade packages for trade picks on draft night. I mean, there's so much that can kind of unfold here over the next 4 days.
Yeah, I am still keeping my ear to the ground on Brandon Ayuk.
Thank you, brother.
There are still, and Tony's in the same boat with the Steelers. Like, there are guys like that, and granted, T. Higgins seems to be the one situation where he's comfortable playing. He actually has said, I expect to play for the Bengals. But like you said, who knows if the player that the Niners really want in the first round, if it is like a Lad McConkey or someone like that, and they don't get him, and now they have to make a move to get more picks to get more guys. Like, it's going to be incredible.
Man, how good does that feel whenever somebody makes a trade about pick 27? Something to talk about.
Yeah, the one you were talking about 2 years ago, A.J. Brown. And then after A.J. Brown got traded, that's when all the receivers started to come off the board. Yeah.
And we got that shot from Vrabes in the draft room. Where we knew then, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
This is probably going to end at some point. Yeah. You just best player. And then what's he do for Philadelphia the next year? Just
all-pro.
Yeah.
Offensive MVP pretty
14
much.
touchdowns.
For the entire thing is the Tennessee Titans are just trying to grind out games.
Yeah.
And Vrabes is thinking to himself, well, we could have done a little things different if we would have known. We're trying to connect with Jay Will, obviously of Duke legend, but I don't know what the connection issue is. But as soon as he gets on, I can't wait to talk about these NBA games.
Yeah.
Because Damian Lillard was shooting at a bigger hoop than everybody else.
So fun.
I don't know. I didn't know how it was happening. We've seen, obviously, people just go unconscious before. We've seen Steph Curry. We've seen Caitlin Clark do it. We've seen shooters of the past go unconscious in college and in the NBA, in WNBA. But, what Damian Lillard did wasn't just, deep shots. He was logish. But then he had everybody scared shitless of the deep shots, so then he just go to the bucket.
Shook 'em.
And they were supposed to be hurt. Remember, Giannis not playing. The Pacers can fill up the bucket. Instead, it's Dame Lillard step back, however many, forever. 3.
Good luck to find that.
It was one after another. He had one of the biggest first halves in the history of the playoffs, top 3 scoring in the first half in the history of the NBA playoffs against the Indiana Pacers. And now the Pacers have lost 10 straight playoff games.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
10 straight. But that doesn't mean anything.
No.
This is a very different team than it was back then.
Yeah.
Just because you lose one game, who cares? You lose by 1, you lose by 30. It does not matter. All you're trying to do is split on the road. So boys got their asses beat on Dame time in the middle of a Sunday. Who cares? Okay, you come back, you steal the second one, you're all good. With that being said, the way Lopez was moving and Dame and the way that team, Pat Beverly obviously get in on the action, the way they were playing without Giannis was this is a team that the Pacers couldn't prepare for because they're playing much. And Dame's shooting lights out. It's the Pacers might be screwed. And Wendy told me last week, people he knows.
Yeah, a lot of people.
And he's in. He knows everybody.
Yeah, he does.
He said a lot of people saying Pacers can win this thing.
Yeah, lock it up.
And I was pumped up for Tyrese Halliburton. That was his first ever playoff game yesterday.
Yes, it
Now
was.
he's getting dunked on by everybody. That's his first playoff game. People trying to dunk on him because Dame time won bananas. But I love that the NBA has these incredible matchups. And I love whenever somebody goes unconscious like Damian Lillard did yesterday in that first half.
Yeah, it's very fun. I think people are overreacting with the Pacers just because if there was one to get, it was this one where Giannis isn't playing and stuff. And, look, I get T.J. McConnell. He went to Duquesne. He's a great guy.
Tougher than a $2 steak.
Tough son of a bitch. You want him on your team.
So watch out.
Look, you can't have someone like that guarding Damian Lillard when he's shooting from 30.
Someone like that.
Look, you can't. Okay,
he was in his
what are you saying?
Look, you can't have a white guy guard Damian Lillard when Damian Lillard is that unconscious. You just can't.
Shit.
You just can't. It's just
32-year-old white guy, you're saying, is the problem.
You can't. You can't do
Dayton
it.
shooting at a hoop, it's this big. And all of a sudden, T.J. McConnell, Yinzer legend.
Love TJ.
Yinzer legend at a Charval.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, listen, this ain't just some 32-year-old white you're talking about.
Hey.
Agreed. I completely agree. Gritty son of a bitch.
This guy's got steel mill in his blood. You think he's worried about Dame time? Yeah.
Well,
maybe yesterday, but that doesn't mean game 2. We don't do the same damn thing. You think
we want to run it back with the same strategy after what happened yesterday? I just don't know if that's a smart idea. Now, look, I don't give a shit because if the Pacers lose, sweet. Who cares, okay? But with the Bucks, hey, there's one guy clearly on this team that is going to be able to shoot from anywhere. You need to put someone on.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, maybe won't be as racist as you.
Well, no, I wasn't being racist.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Will.
Yeah, Jay Will.
Jay, we appreciate you dealing with us. I heard there was a little bit of a technical difficulty. You're the man for making this happen. We genuinely appreciate it.
Anything for you, PM. You and your boys are mine. So
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Hey, so we just got done with a discussion here, and we need you to weigh in on it. What Connor said was, in a very matter-of-fact fashion, okay? He said, you can't be having a 32-year-old white guy covering Damian Lillard whenever Damian Lillard is shooting at a bigger hoop in your first playoff game for most people on this team. Do you agree with that? And also, follow-up, is this what the Bucks are without Giannis? I had no idea that this is what the Bucks were without Giannis. And what are we looking at here? Are the Pacers going to be able to get back in this entire thing?
I mean, I don't think it would matter what color, what age the dude was. Game is really bag. None of that stuff matter, PM.
Thank you.
It's almost so it feels like with Giannis, because of how they utilize him in transition, that Dame almost has a little bit more freedom to revert back to Portland Trailblazers Dame, where just everything was centered around him and everybody could play off him with Brook Lopez and company and how talented they are. And the thing I have with Indiana, we talked about this. First off, I got to get out there and hang out with you guys. I told you, PM, that my wife is from Carmel, Indiana, so I'm spending a lot of time out that way. And they're turning me into a Pacers fan. Tyrese Halliburton has to have more than 7 shots.
Okay.
He has to. I love him. Ever since the injury, him getting back to find his own way, I need him to revert back to who he was before the All-Star game for him to go next level because he has to go nuclear for them to beat the Bucks.
We agree. And he's got the moxie and swagger and the confidence to do it. And they had him mic'd up in the first half of that game. And before Dame went for 35 in the first half, 0 in the second half.
Good deal.
Did they figure it out?
Yeah, big deal.
Did T.J. McConnell, the white, figure it out?
I took him off, actually.
Okay, he's resting. Yeah, we don't need this right now.
Smart.
But Halliburton was talking to a little bit. He'll find his way. It was his first playoff game.
Exactly.
Hey, J-W, it was his first playoff game. He'll figure it out. Let's move to a different game. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Jay, well, obviously, it was a massive victory for the Celtics. Expected, and they almost blew it at the end, but still got the victory. Jason Tatum, first career playoff triple-double. Are we going to, as Celtics fans, expect that type of Tatum this playoffs where he's just doing everything? Because in years past, it's been more so hey, Jason, we're going to need you to score 30, 35 points here so we know that we can lock in this victory. With Porzingis, with how complete this team is, will this be a different type of playoff run that we've seen in years past from the Celtics? Or was this just kind of like hey, Tatum can do it all against an 8 seed, who cares?
So we've all been out to nightclubs before, and we've all been on different sides of the spectrum here. I've definitely been the guy that can't get inside the nightclub. Mm-hmm. And then as things have changed, right? You're the guy with the table all the way in the back. I've often felt that Jason Tatum is he's in the VIP, but he's not in the exclusive VIP because he's at the velvet rope. And I feel like the velvet rope is about to say, no, come on in. We're sorry. This whole thing is yours.
Got it.
That's what we're about to find out this year about Jason Tatum, is that he's going to take over that entire back room, cigars, cognac, whatever you want. He's going to be relaxed with 3 buttons open, just saying, this is mine. Like Denver, I just feel like Jason Tatum and this Celtics team is on a different pace And even if the game got close, even the way he bounced up when he got bridged to Caleb Martin, he didn't care. He's coming for it. It's that time for them.
I can't believe he got into the Guy Fieri section.
I know.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's back there with Guy Fieri in the back of that thing.
Yep.
Gary V.
Popping his ball. They're
Tough
in the
to
back
get in.
there. They're sitting on the back of the couch. They got their shoes, which are very fresh, all over the cushion.
They don't care.
They're sitting up dancing
Yeah.
orange shot. Tatum's going there.
Yes.
Holy hell.
Living there, it
This
sounds
year.
like.
This year is a chance.
It's our year. It's finally our year.
And if it's not, wow, Heartbreak City.
Big time.
Especially, I mean, in that one highlight we showed, as you were talking about Porzingis, he put up an air ball, but I saw a couple last night of
Yeah, he
him
was-
step back. He is
Yeah.
in his bag, seemingly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Ooh, I
down
like that.
below, too. Everyone driving.
Like that. I didn't know the shoulders could wiggle like that.
Yeah, I could shoot. Perkins told, Big Perk, who was with us for one day. It was a great
It was a
day.
hell of a run.
We love
Hell
Big
of a run.
Perk.
Never
Saw him on
forget
TV
that.
all weekend.
Yeah.
We love
Never forget
We
that.
love Big Perk. He said all the good shooters, got a little wiggle. Their shoulders can move. They can. And anybody that's super stiff, it's like you're going to fight your shot for the rest of your entire life, is what he said. And I think that was probably a good act. You think that's an accurate description of shooters?
I think so. I think what I need to do though is I'm gonna take myself out to the Thunderdome. I'm gonna come out there and hang out with you guys for a day. Can I do
Please?
that? Can I?
Jay Will.
I'm coming.
J-Dub, whenever. You come whenever
Yes.
you want. You show up. We'll send you the address. It's through a couple of neighborhoods. If there's an accident, you're going to have to wait in traffic. Caitlin Clark had to wait in a 2-lane road because we're in the neighborhood for 35, 40 minutes. That's bad first impression.
Yeah.
We would have been the worst of the day if it wasn't for Greg Doyle.
Shout out.
Which we shout out to him doing that entire thing. We would look like the assholes. But yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want to come, J-Dub, that'll be sick. Speaking of coming, there's a guy back, all the way back. Seemingly playing like basketball he was playing 6 years ago. Tone Diggs has a question for you, J-Dub.
Yeah, I do. So Clippers obviously have Kawhi out, but that didn't matter at all because James Harden went off. It did look like a blast from the past. If, say, Kawhi doesn't play, is James and Paul, like, is that enough for them to get through, maybe to even do the championship?
This series to me is a different one because Kai and Luka are different, and I give the Clippers a lot of credit. They came out early and they blitzed him with their energy. You saw a lot of that, and James is there, but I don't know. Luka and Kyrie to me feel like there is something different. I think Luka had 33, Kyrie had 31, the rest of the team had 33, and I think Jason Kidd is going to make adjustments. I'm not just going to look over this series, man. The Dallas Mavericks are that team that they could explode offensively. And I think one of two things is going to happen. We're going to come out of this season saying that, you can win a championship with Luka basketball. Or we're going to come out of this season saying, you know what? I don't think we can. He might have to change up his style as relates to dominating the ball. But I'm not going to overlook the Dallas Mavericks, man. I like the Clippers. They are special. But I think Dallas is a chance with a higher ceiling, Frank.
That looked like old school James, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he was getting fouled too. He's at the foul line a bunch, which is old school James Harden basketball. That is, hey, I'm going to be at the foul line 30 times tonight, and then I'm also going to hit 4 threes in this entire thing. Dame, I mean, just go back to him. He got 2 and 1s, 3-point shots.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And while it's in the air, he's screaming and 1 like people do with layups.
Yeah.
It was. He was unconscious, dude. As he's getting actually fouled, shooting a 3, and what? It's a 3, and then it's splat. What a weapon, J-Dub, in this entire.
Flow, baby, flow state. You're in that Kobe Bryant mentality all day, every day, just like you when you do the show.
Flow state.
Flow state.
Well, I was in flow state 420 a little bit. I was flowing. I was flowing all over the place.
That's a different flow state. That's a different flow state.
That's the one I live in. I don't know which one Kobe's in, but I know which one. Rest in peace, by the way. What a weapon. Ty has a question for you, Jay Will.
Jay Will, I know everyone wants to talk about how young Oklahoma City is, and that's a great story. But when you get the 1 seed, I feel like there's an expectation there. And granted, a win's a win. I know playoff basketball is different, but I think they left a lot to be desired with that win over the Pelicans. Can they do anything in the West? And on the flip side, do the Pelicans have any chance to beat them if Zion's going to be out for a prolonged period?
I mean, they could have won last night. The Pelicans made a couple of threes where I'm like, what are you doing? Stop shooting off offensive rebounds. Stop shooting the ball like that. Just value the possession. So they had a legitimate shot. Here's what I'm going to say about OKC. First off, about the game in general, I really wish Zion was playing because I feel like this is what we as NBA fans, we deserve. Like, we deserve to see the youthful young talent of Zion Williamson, the God figure on the court, going against Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who is the MVP of the league, in my opinion. I love the Joker, but Shea is it to me. No offense, Shannon Sharp. Shea Gilgeous is really the Shea
Whoa.
talking about. And like, yeah, look, you win games ugly. I think OKC could have played a lot better, but they found that. Speaking of and one, did you see the and one down the stretch and he pulled his left arm down and Shea still made it?
Yes.
Like, that's the kind of.
Yeah, it's been nice getting introduced to him. It's been nice getting introduced to him, and Chet Holmgren still moving is wild to watch. Mm-hmm. And he's running.
Played in every single game this year.
That's what I'm saying. And he's running. He's big dude.
Oh, yeah.
Running the court. Him and Wemby, same age, right?
Yeah.
Both rookies. Both coming in there. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, now's not the time.
Did you the Wemby, the Nike commercial on the shoe with the alien out of the crop fields?
Great logo.
So sick.
Oh, so sick.
Yeah, great logo. If he goes on to be awesome, and then, he has this like super worldly universe view.
Yeah, very.
Yes.
So that shit's gonna sell global.
Yeah, he's enlightened.
Yeah, and it's so we got to chance this Aliens brand, and then Chet Holmgren singing songs.
Yep.
In commercials.
What a player needs.
What a player wants, whatever he happy. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that had to be tough to record.
Yeah. Hopefully it was one take.
Yeah, hopefully. Also getting introduced to a weapon.
Okay, maybe it helps.
Yeah, maybe. This guy, after the game, had an embrace from his home fans that doesn't happen that often. I know there's MVP chants and shit, but with how overpowering this crowd was, this had to be a moment that felt so good for this dude that we're just watching now for I guess we should have been watching the last couple of years. I seen him in that movie.
Yes.
I see him in that movie, but it feels like now is his time. Just like you said, Jason Tatum, it feels like now is his time to go. Listen to this reaction after the game for Anthony Edwards. Love that. Obviously, there's a couple things that have happened with him over his life. He's young. He's a superstar. He went crazy in the game. He's the next one, huh? He's in that list of guys that are the next one. They're saying he's going to be face of the league. I saw he had a Gatorade commercial, I think, had a couple other commercials. He's been in a movie. His city loves him, and he's a dog. He is an absolute dog on the court. He's the next one in the potential face of NBA conversation, or is that getting a little crowded right now at this point?
Yo, PM, I never thought I would say, Kobe, because everything, it felt like the next iteration to a degree of Mike. But in the day and age, like with AAU and with everybody liking each other and being friends, even that clip where he was coming back barking at KD, I'm not saying he is, but damn, man, there is a Jordan-esque feeling about Ant that just who he is defensively, who he is offensively, how athletic he is. He don't give a damn who you are, what you say. He just keeps coming. There's a different vibe about him that it's old school in the new school age. You know what I mean? He jumps off the page differently than anybody else in the league to me. It's different.
So he said that, Kevin Durant is his idol. Like, that's who he looks up to. So having that moment with him was huge. And you saw KD smiling as well, because KD loves what's happening right now for that. Hey, USA.
Yeah.
USA. Hey, we're going to,
Yeah.
They're talking about the international game taking over. I don't think so. Hey, the rest of this way, we should be expecting fireworks. NHL and NBA 14-0 for the home teams this weekend in the playoffs. Are we expecting these matchups to be? What are we thinking about the NBA playoffs? We're going to have some tight ones. We're going to have some good races. We're going to have some blowouts. What are your thoughts here as we are only one game into all of them?
I'm just saying, last time I was on the show, you guys say you guys stole Christmas Day with football, and now you guys are still trying to overtake us with the draft coming up. I just need you guys to get out of our way for 1 PM.
Don't let
us have it.
Hey, don't let us. You got all your players injured.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we go in the NBA, and then all of a sudden, Wendy's announcing that somebody's out. This person's out. Oh, I know that. This person's out. This person's out. I mean, that's not, obviously, it's very terrible timing for everything, but I did think that dampered the release of the playoffs. But I watched the games. I was very entertained.
Yeah, awesome.
I was very entertained by playoff basketball. I think that'll continue, right?
Look, I mean, if with OKC, the young talent coming out, with everything happening with Dallas, they're incredible basketball storylines that, frankly, we need to do a better job of promoting, because we've been talking about OKC all year. And I know we're always going to talk about brand names, the Lakers and what's going on with LeBron James. But there's some young and upcoming players in this league that deserve national recognition. And I think that's what these playoffs are going to be about, for them to make their name.
Love that, especially if Tatum opens up the rope and goes back with Guy Fieri and the boys.
Yep. God, I hope.
I mean, you're talking big deal. We appreciate the hell out of you for making this happen, brother.
All right, boys. I'll see you guys soon.
Hey, come through whenever. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Will.
Jay Will.
Only human in my entire life. PM.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I can't believe he's the only one.
There was one time where there was a kid named Angelo Mastrogiacomo. Was on my soccer team.
Mm-hmm. He's the one that stole that award.
No, he earned it. He's very good. Very, very good. I mean, I had a great year. I was younger, though. He's very... Angelo Mastrogiacomo is a dog.
Yeah,
absolute dog. Very good. But they said gold time all the time, AM to PM, right? You see?
Ooh.
Because...
Yeah, I got it.
That's
good.
sweet.
You see how that was the only time I was ever referred to as PM. I forgot that he called me PM.
I love it.
And the first time it came out of his mouth, I was like... Took me back to Angelo. I'm like, hope you're good, Paisan. Why the hell is he still calling me PM?
Well, you got some J-dubs in.
Yeah.
Well, I had to. I mean, what are we even doing?
Fight fire with fire.
Had to bring it back to him.
He just doesn't want to be like everybody else.
PM's okay. I mean, I just never. It just is something that because Peyton Manning too. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
I got CC a lot actually growing up.
You're in my phone as CC because you changed that as your thing, didn't you? Oh no, you probably have Connor Campbell.
Yes, I have that as my
So it shows up as CC, but you're in my phone as Boston Connor. So it's CCBC happened at the same time.
Whoa.
And I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on around here?
Yeah, no, CC was always a thing. I mean, obviously, no one's ever called me Boston Connor until out here, but that's
Not
just
outside
Indiana.
of-
Outside of Massachusetts, bingo. New England, really.
Yeah, well, how do we remember this guy? Well, where's he from? What's his name?
From near Boston.
Sweet, you're Boston.
Okay, cool. Work.
Do you feel like you act like a masshole? Do you feel like you represent the area okayly? I don't know how to answer that. Probably then.
Yep.
That's kind of how
Sounds
it all
good.
went. And then you're a Boston Connor from that point forward.
Yep.
What a weapon was created.
It was a good time. That was the
Hey,
first day of
mustache
work.
mullet, good today.
Really. Shout out
Yeah.
KC, Backport Parker.
For the draft spectacular.
Got that one right.
Backport
Draft
Parker.
Spectacular, yep.
All right, let's talk about some other things happening around the sports world before we get out of here for this first hour and hour two. Yeah. His last name's Manning.
Yeah.
He's bigger, faster, and stronger than the other Mannings that you've learned of. And yeah, he was the number one recruit in the country. He's going to be good. There was people that thought this guy was going to be ass because of maybe the level of play in high school or whatever. Spring game, I guess, Arch Manning just went bananas.
Yeah.
They're down 14-0. Oh, he wasn't playing. This is his first series. Throws an 80-yard touchdown. Now, some would say the play design gets. What about him moving to safety? What about him making the corner drop in there?
Yeah.
Wide open. Those are the intricacies of the game. He's been at the Manning Academy since he was 6 years old. They're saying he's faster than both Eli, Archie, and Peyton. They're saying he's stronger than them as well. And he's grew up underneath, obviously, Cooper, who's the most athletic. But in that Manning world, everybody's going to have haters, especially if your last name is Manning and you're a college kid or whatever. But I think this weekend, we saw some clips and we heard some chatter like, yeah, maybe the worry about him not being able to figure it out because his high school football level wasn't high enough and who he was playing wasn't good. It's like, Arch Manning's going to be another Manning.
Yep.
He's going to be a first-round draft pick, and Steve Sarkisian cannot wait for the time where he can put him in the game. Now, Quinn Ewers is returning as starter, and obviously if Quinn has another year, we can't wait to watch it. We're also big fans of Quinn Ewers, love everything about him. So if this is next year, if Quinn Ewers happens to go down, which we don't want upon anybody, but when Arch goes in, there's going to be an electricity in the stadium that is going to lift, and this kid's going to live up to the expectation. What a stud. I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, it's incredible. And as a team that is in the top 3 drafting quarterback this year, I know that the feeling around New England is, hey, you get Drake May. Sure, he needs a city year, might not be great. Guess what the consolation prize is for Drake May getting drafted and being a bust? Arch Manning, number 1 overall in 2 years. Can't wait.
He's already planning 2 years in advance. The draft hasn't even happened yet. That's what happens this week. That's why it's magical. We'll be back on the other side with AJ Hawk, Ryan Smith, and Steve Levy. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Joining us now is a man who will be compared to forever whenever they're talking about GOAT conversations in the sport of football. That's because he won 7 Super Bowls, was consistently dominant for more than 2 decades at football. Ridiculously handsome. So absurdly handsome. An underdog story, too, picked at 199 of the NFL draft. Not a top 5 pick, not handed anything. And then what did he do? He went to work, did his job, became the greatest of all time, and now a phenomenal businessman and a great representation of the greatest league on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady. Hell yeah,
What's
dude.
up, my man?
Tom, I thought this was all potential gimmick rip. I didn't know if you were actually on the show. I'm so pumped you were here. Hey, we love you, dude. We love you, Tom.
I appreciate it.
When you're 40 years old and you've won 6 Super Bowls and you're already being called the GOAT, was there anything to you getting to the point of just being, I'm tired of Bill Belichick talking to me like I'm a 23-year-old? Because that was kind of the lingering at the end of your time at New England.
There was so much people just trying to create some division that most of it was untrue, but it's just the way the world works. And naturally, I think division from within is a big problem in these team environments. And I don't like seeing any dysfunction in team environments. Obviously, my respect for Coach Belichick is pretty well documented. He was an incredible leader and coach for our team. And I tried to do my best every single day that I took the field. I knew that he did the same thing. And I think that's why I respected his coaching so much.
But whenever they talk about the Patriot way, that is normally the reason that is given, is like the Patriot way, the Patriot way, the Patriot way.
I've never used that term in my entire life. I think when people say it, I'm always like, what's the Patriot way? It sounds like the title of a book. I think what we tried to do was we tried to do things the right way. I think we tried to practice the right way and prepare the right way. What happened on game day was ultimately a reflection of what we practiced. And I thought we had great leadership from our coaches, and it filtered down to the guys who really drove the culture. We had so many guys that I played with over the course of a lot of years that really understood that, okay, I'm going to care about my teammates and I'm going to care about helping the team win.
There's a guy on our show who is a diehard Patriot fan. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Tommy, I have to.
What's up, Boston?
I have to start and just say thank you. You know, my whole life has been incredible because of the fact that you have won 6 Super Bowls. And, you know, I'm a loser every day, but I'm a winner as a football fan because of you and what the Patriots were able to do. So thank you. What do you think the new era of New England with Mayo is going to be?
Him coming back into coaching, I think is great for the NFL and certainly great for the Patriots. He's got a great understanding of how things need to be done. I think Gerard does an incredible job relating to everybody in the locker room, all the coaches, and I think he'll do a great job.
Going into the booth, are you utilizing the same thing, hearing what people are saying about you going in there? And how do you balance that while still being a human?
The broadcast going to be 5 years from now is going to be hopefully more improved than the one that starts on day one. So I'm going to go in there with the opportunity to start and learn, and I'm sure by the end of the year I'll feel more comfortable. I really want to be a great ambassador for the NFL and the game. I love the sport. I love the athletes. I love the organizations, and I really.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Draft Spectacular Week, Monday, April 22nd, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports! I felt good to get that out there because sports are the greatest thing on earth, and we're lucky to cover them, especially on this Draft Spectacular Week with playoffs in the NBA, the NHL, golf happening. There's 2 people in the sport of golf right now that are on runs that hasn't been seen in a long, long time. Nelly Korda and Scotty Scheffler are lights out on heaters on golf courses right now. Obviously, Scotty Scheffler's made like $380,000 a day for like the last 3 months or something like that.
It's gone up now.
I forget what the number is.
Yeah.
He is awesome, as is she. She said she was counting down because they had a major this weekend, the LPGA. She was just counting down the holes to get home. You know, she said that she was like antsy to get there and win this entire thing. Scotty Scheffler's complete opposite. Rain delay, come back, hit a ball in the water, put it to 6 feet, bury it to make par, get out out of there. Then, oh, yeah, you got to finish on Monday morning, actually, even though your wife is very pregnant still. You just won the Masters a week ago, and you have a 4-stroke lead. Yeah, got to come back on Monday morning, one of your only days off, and finish this thing. No problem, he says. No problem. Let me come and slice and dice your course. Lucky to do it. The state of golf is wonderful right now, as is all sports. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys Tone Diggs, and a man joining us live from Manhattan, Ohio, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup winner, and the current president of Ohio.
Yep.
Tonight, WWE Monday Night Raw will be in Columbus, Ohio. Wow. This man's home. He has a tree there, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, baby, Hoger.
AJ, for the good of tonight, OH!
Oh yeah, you're gonna kill it tonight. I know a lot of people going. I know some of my kids' friends, their parents. They're juiced to see you. They can't wait.
Holy shit! From the tip of my toe to the top of my head, a lightning bolt had just gone through my body here in the IO and not being left on the pond out there. That was magnificent. Tonight's going to be awesome, I feel. I feel like it's going to. I have gotten a text from the general.
Nice. Oh, really?
I've gotten a text from the general.
Who is he wrestling tonight?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You never know what's going to happen.
Get him in there. Get Bobby in the ring.
I'm sure he will be trying to.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm sure if I know anything about Bobby.
He better be dressed up like Cody Rhodes.
I asked him where his seats are. I think you'll be able to see him.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
perfect.
Yes. Great news.
I think, yeah. Because that means that I.
See, just behind you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I can't wait in the middle of a commercial break. You know, because at those things, we go to commercial, you know, and then, but there's still things happening in the arena, and sometimes matches are still going, and whew, they get after it out there. But also, there's like a lot of things happening potentially in my headphones, you know, like we're trying to figure, because I'm not told a lot of things before show starts, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, this is coming up, need you to do this or whatever, and it's like, okay, we get that. And people are just yelling at the back of my head, like from 3 feet away, but I can't feel like Bobby's potentially going to be one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't wait to hear what's coming out of this. Hold on one second. What's up, General? Okay, yeah. The guy behind us wants to know if you can turn the lights down. You're getting. Remember that? They were chanting about the lights in Philadelphia.
A lot, too.
It's an interesting dynamic because I try to hear all the chants that are happening and what the crowd's saying. And then if it's something, I'll be like, they're saying boom right now, and just try to. The WWE is the most like, we want the crowd.
Yeah.
We want it all. Do your thing. Well, you're not coming tonight, though. It's what it sounds like.
We got a couple different games we can't really bail on at the moment. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If it was practice, we'd definitely pull people out of practice for sure to come.
Well, I know that is not in your nature either there. Practice matters.
It does.
So, but coming to Monday Night Raw, you might learn something you take with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a chance that could happen.
Think about it.
I think
Is JD going to be there?
Duh.
McDonough?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Guy doesn't miss a night.
He's going to be
Let's hope he's not.
You know, I think I've turned the page on Judgment Day.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
What do you mean?
They had two champs. They had two champs. Rhea had because of shoulder.
That's such bullshit, man.
Yes.
She had to vacate the title.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Okay, I understand that she can't defend her title, but that doesn't mean that you take it away from her.
Agreed.
It's not like she, injured
What are you
herself
supposed to do?
being an idiot or
Yeah,
something.
but it's a fighting title.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
title itself is a fighting, and Rhea understands that.
Yeah, but she got. I mean, it was an illegal injury. Like it was a part of a revenge.
She
tour.
got screwed, bamboozled.
Yeah, like that. That's what
does make a
pisses me
difference.
off about it.
Let's pivot away from the WWE in Columbus, Ohio tonight, which is going to be awesome. The amount of OHs.
Oh, man.
I can't. Whenever use, you know who I'm talking about. We use Ohio.
What about it?
When they get
Yeah,
in
the
together.
nice people of Ohio. Yeah, the great, nice people of Ohio.
When these things get together.
Oh, yeah.
These things.
They talk.
These things get together. There's a lot of 2 letters one way,
Yep.
and then 2 letters right on back, and then it just can't wait for it.
Easy.
Oh, the Creed brothers tonight.
Oh my God!
holy
Ohio's
shit.
finest.
Yes.
All right, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is Utah's finest, maybe, legitimately.
Definitely.
When it's all said and done, it might say this guy is the greatest Utahian of all time.
Yeah, bingo.
He won't say that because obviously he's super humble and bro and everything like that.
Sure.
But what he has accomplished at such a young age will be studied for decades and generations, hopefully. A man who started a company about studies and, surveys, sold that thing, became a billionaire. Sold it again, became another billionaire. Buys Utah Jazz. Okay, now he's an owner of an NBA team. Oh, the team he was a diehard fan of growing up in the city in which he grew up in. And then now he's also the owner of an NHL team yet to be named, although we all have ideas.
Yeah, we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, stud American Dream story, Ryan Smith.
What's up, fellas?
Oh, man.
Holy shit. Is that green screen behind you now that you're a big time?
No, that's called Utah.
No, that's green screen.
That's called Utah. That's why we're here.
No,
Look at
that's green screen. I can
That's
see
called
it.
mental health right there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And the amount of outdoor.
Wake up to that every morning.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, Utah is a beautiful state. And to be honest, I did not expect to say that whenever I was forced to go to Utah because of College Game Day. Remember, we're forced to go.
Yeah, did not think that we'd love it.
We're going to Utah. Why the hell are we going to Utah? There has to be some other game that we could potentially go to. Then we get out there. The fans for our show, awesome.
Lights out.
Coach showed up on a motorcycle.
Yep.
And then we go to your game that night, Utah Jazz. Electric atmosphere. And then the next morning was fantastic. The state is a sports state, which leads me to this. I know that you were interested in bringing an NHL team there. Obviously, the Winter Olympics have been held there, and obviously a lot of winter sports as we see those fake mountains above your head as we speak right now. The NHL thing was a dream for you, I think, and for your team. Did it seem like it was going to become a reality, or when did this kind of get dropped out of, did it come out of nowhere? When did you expect this to happen, and how did you find out about it all?
Yeah, I mean, I think in January we made it public, like, hey, we're interested in hosting. We want to be a part of it. Like, we think it'll do well. But reality is until a bunch of people go around the room and vote, you're not getting a team. And Bettman and Bill Daly and the crew called, pretty much around March 6th. I mean, it hasn't even been 6 weeks, and said, hey, we have the craziest idea. Do we even think you could pull it off? And, I've learned with these things that when big stuff comes along like this, first of all, it's probably never a good time. Second, don't blink.
Yeah.
Just say, yes, let's go. We're going to figure it out. And here we are 6 weeks later with an NHL team and introducing the players to Salt Lake City and all of Utah on Wednesday.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Go.
And the don't blink thing, whenever you're talking about an opportunity, there's not a lot of teams that you can buy in professional sports, in the power leagues, obviously. Not a lot of these situations pop up. And I know there's some people in Phoenix that are bummed out about it because they've committed their entire life to the Coyotes, and we saw the advertising to sales, everything that goes into an entire business. They were bummed out about it, but I think a lot of people, like Biz came on last week and said he's excited that there's a younger mind in owning a team and also a fan base that is seemingly very eager. 20,000 plus now at this
We're
point.
up to 27,000.
Jeez.
Damn.
How many can it hold, the thing?
We're going to start out at about 16,000. We've got 12,000 that don't have any issues with sight lines. It's a longer conversation, but about 16.2 is where we're at. So
don't put anybody behind any polls, Ryan. You'll be the worst guy on earth. Can't do it.
There's no polls. There's no polls. Trust me. But we've got
No pulse.
We've got a complete renovation set up so that we'll be about 17.3 in the arena when we're fully renovated.
So we're talking sold out barn for the entire season, seemingly guaranteed year one, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, AJ.
I assume now, like, you feel like the weight of everything has hit you now. Like, now I'm guessing the real work gets done. What's your first couple things you have to get squared away to even begin this whole process?
So we've got to name the team.
Oh, we got it. We know it. We know it.
I know.
We got a few.
We've got to land and mostly just relocate about 80 different folks. They're coming in Wednesday to look at where they're going to live, how their day-to-day is going to work. We've got to tee up a practice facility that works, that is a momentary practice facility. I'm not going to say temporary to anyone in Arizona. That was clear. We want to make sure that we have. Look at that backdrop, bro. You look
mental health
so
right here.
good.
This is mental health right here.
Mental health.
Right here.
There you go.
Yeah, this is not a green screen. This is outside the Thunderdome.
Yep.
You've been here?
Dude, your people should be part of the space program, man.
Yeah.
Like that's very, very good work very quickly.
Zito is.
Maybe
Yeah.
Zito is.
Yeah.
Zito actually told us he went to a college, and then we checked with the college and his friends. He never went there.
Nope.
He lived on campus, but he never actually went.
I was in the space program at 420.
Yeah. Who's an astronaut? We all are. Not in Utah, though. I learned that, obviously. I learned that. So there's a lot happening.
So there's a lot to do, AJ. Like, it's daunting. I mean, to be honest with you, we're not going to be perfect. There's no way we can be perfect. But, we're ready to go, and I think we're going to need everyone in the community's help. Like, this is truly a community asset. It's going to be for Utah, by Utah. Like, let's go.
Okay.
So.
Do you have any messaging to your? Because how many Utah? Is it the same people, Utah Jazz fans, that are going to be Utah?
We'll get
Top
there.
3 maybe.
But 6,000 of the first people that came in out of the 27,000, only 400 were season ticket holders for the Jazz.
Oh.
So it's a little bit of a different demographic.
Okay, that's good news, right? That's not bad news.
I think so. I mean, we saw that with UFC a little bit. We've seen it with some of the concerts. It's stuff that, I'm a data guy. I come from a data and analytics tech world. But then there becomes this moment of passion and gut and predictability. I think no one would have predicted what happened in Vegas with the Golden Knights and how that took off. I think we're a little bit in that same spot where, people might look at the difference in market size between Arizona or Utah or Arizona and Vegas. But it's really about who shows up in these markets. There's a pass-fail grade on how big the market is. And then it's about a little bit about the fight and the dog. Like, do you show up? Do you come out to things? Is it family oriented? And I think that's where my faith is in the people of Utah, that we want nice things. We want a lot more to do. We're bringing another 42 nights a year to downtown Salt Lake plus playoffs. Like, people are going to show up.
And I think that ratings, if you have a packed barn like Winnipeg, I watched that game.
That was unbelievable.
Yes, exactly. I watched it in entirety because the barn was so awesome. Yeah. Like, your fans can actually create an atmosphere that becomes must watch, let alone on the ice having a good team. And now that's a little bit different from an NHL expansion as opposed to a NHL bye, because in the NHL expansion, they make those expansion teams good. The way the expansion draft is kind of set up, not that the Coyotes aren't, but I'm just saying NHL expansion teams have had a lot of success. Now you're doing outright buy. I'll be excited to see what you end up doing with the team. Speaking of, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Ryan, you hired Danny Ainge when you got the Jazz because he was an absolute expert. So for the NHL side of it, are you going to go get Waino to run the team, or what are your thoughts there for the NHL side?
Yeah, I talked to Waino, but I don't think he's in the running the franchise business. But he's been great, actually, throughout
Well, so why don't you open your checkbook a little bit, okay? Stingy old Ryan Smith.
It's never going to work.
But we're going to need, the good thing is we got Bill Armstrong, our coach. They're coming over. I mean, if you actually think about the transaction or this deal, we say in sports, we say in business that it's all about the people. Actually, what we're getting is the people. And we're not taking the name. We're not taking the brand. We might have some skate sharpeners. I don't even know that we're getting any other equipment. Like, we're actually acquiring people and a bunch of draft picks.
Okay.
And the team. And it's actually kind of cool because I had a chance to sit down with everyone last week in Arizona, kind of right when the news hit. And I was like, it's all us. This is who we got.
Yeah.
So let's go make it work and let's go roll. And I think that's what we're excited about. So we're going to need to, obviously build out the organization. But, we're betting on who we got. And I think that it's a little different than expansion. First of all, there's no guarantee on future expansion in any sport.
Agreed.
I mean, we've seen that. Like, things change and leagues change. But we're also, we've got an incredibly young roster of some really, really good players, as well as a barn full of picks and assets. And so it's a good spot. There you go.
Hey, how are the sweaters going to look? When are we picking the name? When are we picking the damn name?
Actually, we're doing a bracket.
Oh, no. Ryan.
Boo. What? Why isn't that a good thing?
Because AI will come in. You'll get bots that'll take something over. You're getting Soakers whether you like it or not. That better be a 1 seed.
Yeah.
Soakers better be a 1 seed, Ryan.
Hey, we've engaged Qualtrics.
Okay.
I know how to handle the AI bots. Right. We're good.
Okay.
And Doubleday and Cartwright, and I think we're going to take this down from 8 all the way down, and the fans are going to vote for this. So it should be good.
Okay, so Qualtrics will be able to keep the bots out. Congrats, and thank you for your services in many other websites that you never really get mentioned to hear about, but you have enough money to buy a pro team in the NHL and the NBA, and you're how old? 27? You look like a child. How old are you?
I'm 45.
Good year.
Team in the NHL and the NBA by 45.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Hey, good for you, dude.
Well done.
Your golf game sucks, but good for you, dude.
Bro, I just need to come out there on a non-windy day.
Yeah, well.
How about Scheffler? Is anyone talking about Scheffler?
Phenomenal.
That is a heater.
Yeah.
That is a heater.
Yeah, that's why he's playing. He should not be playing in this tournament this past weekend. He just won a Masters. Wife's very pregnant, but he also might have been like, yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to be.
Look at this.
Yeah, he's unconscious right now. Yeah, it's phenomenal. He's like getting your money.
16 million in 45 days?
Bingo. That was the first thing I looked at. He's getting your money, Ryan. Well, you better watch it. He's going to come get your NHL team. You don't sell that place out every single night. Ty's got a question for you, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, what's up, Ty?
You mentioned the difference between expansion and relocation. Is there any drawback to it being relocation as opposed to expansion? And that whole process, is it more difficult if it's relocation as opposed to expansion, or does it not really matter?
Well, so this deal isn't really either. Like, we're actually establishing a new franchise and taking the people from the old one, and then everything else is brand new. So it's really not relocation. It's not expansion. What I love about expansion, obviously the draft process is pretty incredible, but I think we're further ahead from talking to people around the league than maybe going through that. Obviously, the Kraken and the Knights were able to kind of defy gravity on that front. I would have loved to have 3 years to set this out the way I know we could. But at the same time, like, Utah's ready, and we're going to go together. And I also think that there's something about that. Like, you get to start off with just kind of this, like, everyone rowing, everyone helping, everyone coming out to support. That whole deal that we've got on Wednesday, hopefully we're filling up the arena to show everyone.
Hey, let's make sure that's not boring, Ryan. Let's make sure that's not boring. We'll all be paying attention to that. If you're going to have...
Are you coming out?
What's that?
You're coming out. There's free J-Dogs.
Be Detroit.
Yeah, I'll be in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to work.
Big J going to be there?
Is Big J actually talking or no?
What? Big J's always there.
MC.
Need him
Yeah,
skating.
but is he talking? We would like Big J on the mic introing you and Gary Bettman. Yep. Like Dana does when he's on the stage for the weigh-ins.
Yep.
He needs to be sitting in between you guys, Big J.
Yes.
We can work it out. You remember when we were in Fieldhouse and we went and got dogs, everyone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
I don't remember if you paid, Pat, but like everyone recognized you. It was like, we're coming out, we're ordering dogs. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, we threw ourselves into a war. Anytime you do that, just drop me.
Yeah.
Hey, where's the biggest group of people that potentially know who Pat is? Okay, let's drop ourselves in there. That's what we did, but we were starving our asses off. We needed that hot dog, which isn't going to happen, I think, out at your place. It feels like what you did with Utah Jazz, getting a chance to watch the game next to you. It's like every commercial break, there's something. You see it. You said you got another 42 nights for the people plus playoffs coming out. You really view it as that, right? Like a show. The hockey people, how do you feel like the hockey people are going to react to how the Utah Quaker? No. Is it the Quakers?
So we'll come up.
The Utah bed bunk beds.
Yeah.
The hockey people, the show at the hockey games are different. I mean, look at the Vegas night. It's like a Vegas show.
Yes.
Awesome.
You got multiple intermissions. We've got to turn it up. Like, inside the league of the NHL, there's an entire department of like in-arena game show entertainment. Like, we have to turn it up. And I actually think we could also learn some stuff at the Jazz by where they will take it. And so I think that's exciting. We are an entertainment company. If you think about it, there's talent, there's distribution, there's media.
There's surveys.
And we're putting on a show every night. Like, we are literally trying to entertain and bring groups to people to rally around a common cause in the community, and hopefully they can forget about life for a while and cheer on something. And, you always can't control the outcome of the show, but we want that experience to be incredible. And so one of the things we're working with bringing both of these downtown is making sure that the entrance of that show is not just the arena. How do you make the whole downtown kind of play a part of that, which I think's really cool.
I can't wait to see Utah rally around that because I think that was the sense of like family. You know, it felt like a family. Now, granted, the Utah people are throwing the BYU people under the bus, and then the BYU people are like, "Oh, please, come on, you." Yeah. A lot of that, you know, you got a little jousting happening. But I do believe it felt more like a family than any place I'd been in maybe my entire life. And I'm excited to see what you guys do with it all. The bunk beds are not a bad name.
That would be sweet.
The bunk beds are not a bad
Keep the
name.
kids involved. You know, you want it family friendly.
Yeah. You could sell bunk beds. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Nobody's
there it
doing
is.
that.
In the team shop.
Who's that? Is that a sponsor there? That drink you just took?
Yeah, it's I'm drinking I like my caffeine cold.
Yeah, well, we know. We understand. We've heard. Did you celebrate 420 this weekend, Ryan? You get high as shit?
I did not. I saw it all online. Like, I think there was a lot of pictures and a lot of people visiting Buenos Aires. So it was good.
Sure. What? Argentina.
Hey, what type of team are we going to have, though? You think, like 5-10 years from now, they're going to say that Utah...
My wife stood up and was like, "We want the Stanley Cup here." So like
the Utah, my wife.
I was impressed. I was like, she's at the press conference calling out the Stanley Cup and like, let's go.
Wait till you see the guy that carries it around. He's got this feathered hair. His name's Mike.
Oh man,
he's awesome. He's been in a lot of houses.
With it at all point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like you look at like what the Cronkies have done in where they had the Avalanche win and the Nuggets win, like. Goodness, and then the Rams the year before. That's what it should look like. Like
that's what we're aiming
Just do that.
Hey, figure it out, right? We assume you'll be able to because everything else in your life you have. We appreciate you joining the hockey world. We cannot wait to watch the squad.
Well, we talked about it when we were on your show. Like, and look what happened. Hey, can you leave that backdrop up there for a while?
Well, these mountains are bigger than your mountains. I don't think these are little bitch mountains. Like,
no.
These are the big ones.
You got to get a little closer. Those are a lot closer to you.
Huh?
This is from a distance. The closer you get, the bigger it gets. So.
Oh, well, why don't you just zoom in
hike
on
up there? You ever hike up to the top of that?
Yeah, I've hiked it. That's called Timpanogos, and you can hike up to the top.
Okay.
It's about 6-7 hours. AJ, for you, it's probably 2 or 3.
Oh, you know how zoomed out I am? Look at this. Look at this. I can zoom in.
Wow, touch screen too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can do it all.
Oh, wow.
Go the other way. Go the other way. Other way. Oh.
Look at this.
Yep, see, the wrong way. Yep. These are what my mountains do. They dance, right? If you're going to be an owner of an NHL team and an NBA team, I'm going to need your mountains to dance. And we can't wait.
Hey, we're going to get you guys out. Come out for opening night.
Oh. Talking right to Zamboni again.
October.
All right, we'll think about it. When is it? When is it?
You'll think about it.
I think it's football season. I think you're in the middle of football season. That's gonna be, you know what I mean? That seems like a little.
But the first game in February, like February 20.
No, we'll be out there. We'll come out opening night.
Of course you will. Of course you will.
All right, series.
Hey, I want to let you know. Make sure you have one of those names on that. Let the people actually vote. Don't be.
People are gonna vote.
Don't be withholding.
You.
Don't be withholding any names. You know which ones we're talking about.
I won't. They'll be out. All right, fellas.
See you. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen,
You're gonna win.
You put Stokers on there, it's going to win.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
You should put it on.
It has to be on there. There's no way it's going on.
Put it on the ballot.
They're the Utah Soakers. He has to do it.
I mean, it'll be a landslide victory.
Well, because it won't be Utah people. It'll be
no one who is going to be a fan of this team is going to vote on it.
Yeah, but Qualtrics. Remember, Qualtrics is able to.
Yeah.
Well, where they've been for X.
Well, I don't know.
I don't
they have
so.
deals with a lot of. Obviously, they got deals with a lot.
Yeah, they got the deal.
Think about that dude. 45 years old. He's got an NBA team and an NHL team. Was a dropout of high school.
He dropped out of high school?
Yeah, there's a whole story about it. He told me I was in those mountains as he was next to me. And the Utah Jazz were going bananas right in front of us as I was dapping up the coach. It was a wild. They treated us so good.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They treated us so good over there. It was like the nicest thing of all time. That's why when I heard he was going to get into hockey, I'm like, yes, hockey needs an owner that is like this because he's very much like, this is an event here. Every single night is an event. We need to treat it that way. He brought in Dwayne Wade. He's got a bunch, like every single night, it's like, how do we make this an event, a to-do? And it's like, that's good for the hockey. That's good for the hockey, AJ.
Yeah, and I hope he does. Like, he's going to, I'm sure, do some new kind of things in the arena to try to separate himself from other teams, too. You kind of have to now, I feel like.
He was talking about that Vegas show. That was a great show out there.
Incredible.
I mean, that Golden Knights still undefeated somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
What?
I don't love that guy.
What?
Why?
He's a great warrior. He's a great warrior. I'm not taking anything away from him
Undefeated
there.
warrior.
Yeah, exactly. But as a guy you want to be in a foxhole with, not my kind of
What did he do? Why? What are you
There is
talking about?
rumblings on the internet
What
that he
happened?
might have a loss under his belt.
No.
as well.
No.
Oh, yeah.
To who?
To whom?
Center ice, brother.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You're not. The Golden Knight doesn't lose.
No.
That would ruin everything. What are you saying right now? That can't be real. But let's go back to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be in a foxhole with the Golden Knight?
No.
The guy's got a
undefeated.
metal sword.
He's never lost.
A metal. Never lost.
Never
He's out there.
He's one-on-one on ice. This guy's never lost.
Exactly. He's out there by himself. That's not the kind of guy you want in a foxhole with you. Is that guy going to dive in front of a bullet for me? I don't think so.
Well, a sword maybe, because he's got that shield.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what a bullet is. He's never seen a gun.
You guys are fighting in that war
Coliseum.
medieval times restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where you're fighting with him at.
Okay, well then I'll take the joust pole and I'll drive it through his neck if I have to.
What?
Like I said,
Gotta win.
he's
Gotta win.
he's an unbelievable warrior. He's just not the kind of guy I want in my foxhole.
Is
and
it
that's fine.
because you felt embarrassed that you weren't able to dong the shield?
Not at all, because again, I will go back. I drank about 2 bottles of Jack Daniels that night. So I don't remember that whole back and forth with the Golden Knight. I just got done sitting on the Zamboni for about an hour and 15 minutes, which when you're boozed up and you just have to sit there, with a seatbelt on like you're a 5-year-old. That wasn't great. It wasn't great. But no, I mean, I willed the boys to victory. That's really all that needs to be said. Man,
God, that
Little
was
legs dangling over the
man, that
edge.
sucked.
talking about this weekend.
Go back. Can we turn the sound on that?
Like I said.
The Golden Knight clearly comes up to us and says, "You hit it 3 times. Go Knights,
Look how
go!"
mad you are right now, Adam.
Hit it 3.
You hate that guy.
I'm just trying to do my own thing.
Shield. 15 seconds later, they get the go-ahead goal. Ty got to give fist bumps to the boys as they were going to the locker room, and then we got a chance to go in the locker room afterwards and talk to the boys. The boys loved it. The boys absolutely loved it. What a time! But
Yeah.
the Golden Knights, big part of that story for the entire evening. You hit the siren after he just beat the hell out of some guy. You guys were a tag team that night, and I'm kind of surprised to hear you saying this, to be honest with you. But I think the Utah. What do we think it's going to be? Yetis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
We think it's going to be Yetis, probably?
That'd be
Yetis
sweet.
are.
Utah,
That's
my
okay.
wives would be cool.
The who?
The Utah, my wives. The way he said that right after
My
you asked
wife.
him,
My
Utah-
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
one.
wives, because Mormon, you'd have to
Well, see, there you go.
put
they're gonna
Utah
lean into
flair
that.
on it.
Well, I asked Austin Coley about that first
Okay.
time I got to talk to him about the Mormon religion. I said, so you guys are just marrying a bunch of people? Like, how's this, why? Why does that work? How's that work? He goes, no, there's like obviously extremist things, but I guess back in the day they had to make a pilgrimage from like Missouri or Kentucky or something over to Utah. And in doing so, we lost a lot of great men out there.
Yeah, a lot of deaths.
A lot of great men out there. So then there was a pickup, of other families, allegedly is where and then there are some extremists, I guess, that kind of take it. The Mormon religion is wild. He said, I like my caffeine ice cold. Like, that's wild. This guy's buzzed up.
Yeah, it needs it on ice.
This guy's buzzed up all day, AJ. This guy's buzzed up.
He's admitting to drinking caffeine. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, they do the Diet Coke as like their escape. I'll be chugging like my 3rd beer on the plane, and Austin Coley's like, "I'll do another Diet Coke." And I'm like, "All right, I feel like it's going differently."
Caffeine
and you're still
bag.
driving us home, but that is great.
What about the golden plates?
the golden pants?
No, the golden plates in the Mormon religion.
Oh, you're talking about the ones that were found by
By
Joseph
John-
Smith
Johnny
in
Smith.
New York, upstate New York, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it to break it all down, but I do know the state of Utah is a very welcoming place.
Yeah.
And like, what is going to happen in that arena is going to be.
They can win. Can imagine if they come out on fire like the Vegas team did. They will be going crazy.
I had no idea that they were talking about like how big cities are still when it comes to ratings. Because like for me, as somebody that doesn't really watch a lot, like if it's on, I'll watch. I don't care what city You know,
Yeah.
I don't. If it's awesome, I'm going to watch
Yeah.
it. But I guess they're talking about the local markets where I guess they still get a bunch of money from, probably from. Like baseball, there for a long time was making a large piece of their income off of local cable and local radio. That's all done, seemingly, because there's been a couple bankruptcies of it. Like MLB's in an interesting spot right now, I think, because a lot of the local money is kind of dissipating quickly. I didn't know the NHL was like that as well. Nick's saying, yes, it's a big deal. Nationally, though, if it's a good barn, people are going to watch. You know, like that's just going to be how it's going to go.
Absolutely. Team's got to be good, too, though. That's the problem that he has in front of him right now. Is the Coyotes have been a bit of a dumpster fire for many, many years. Now, they were starting to build a good prospect pool. They got some young players to look out for that are exciting. So if they can add to that, the sky's the limit.
Joining us now is a man who might be able to give us some more answers. He hosted all weekend fantastically and has for ESPN since hockey has started being covered on ESPN. Friend of the program, an absolute stud. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Levy's.
What's up, guys?
Steve, how are you doing? You got to go to your right, I think. Yep, nailed it. It's always a thing. It's always a thing. It's not just you.
I still got the Disney tan going too, huh? That's terrible.
It does look like it does look. Yeah, is there powder in your house? That'd be awesome. You got the Caucasian skin that I have. That the sun sees us, and then everybody sees that we saw it. Yeah, I get it. You look fantastic. You were great all weekend. Let's talk about. Let's wrap up this Utah team as we move into the incredible NHL playoffs that have already started. The team, not that good, is what Nick just said about the Phoenix Coyotes. And there's not a lot of free agents in hockey, seemingly.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen often. Trades take place, but free agents, guys sign 7-year deals, and then you don't hear anything about them until forever, pretty much. How do you make a team better quick? Is that possible for Ryan out there? And what are your thoughts on a team going to Utah?
Really tough. I would push back, though. I think they've got prospects. I would say first 2/3 of the season, they were right there. They were borderline playoff team and really ran out of gas. And just recently, the head coach there said these conversations, which were bubbling underneath that maybe weren't public about the potential move to Utah, that really turned the club upside down. That really was an impact on the ice, confusion over about the future of the franchise. So, look, it does take time. But I think there are 4 or 5 really good young players in the Coyotes lineup. And yeah, you got to add on. But like your Pittsburgh Penguins and everything, like they're up against it. It's hard. Once you've won and you've reached it, man, right? Then it's really hard to, without a complete teardown, to rebuild and win quickly.
Yeah, and we trade a leader to another team who's now favored to win the whole thing in the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's great. Good luck finding another Gensel, Ryan Smith. Let's talk about the playoffs. Obviously, my big takeaway was that Winnipeg barn. Okay, that Winnipeg barn was phenomenal. The game was incredible. Across the board, NBA and NHL home teams 14-0, so I think fans showed up everywhere, but this one will be talked about for years, I think, what they did up there. And I learned from a map during the break, Winnipeg is above North Dakota and Minnesota.
Yep. Okay.
Like at the border. It's right, not too far.
No.
Not too far.
Could we take him? Could we trade him for Detroit?
Portland, I thought.
Portland, sorry.
We're giving up Portland.
Well, Detroit's on my mind because the draft. Portland.
We got Windsor, though, because Windsor's under Detroit.
Correct. Yeah.
So Winnipeg is close, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is close, and it's much, I thought it was way lefter. But that particular barn was fantastic. Why do you think all the home teams had such success? And are we going to see this all the way through, you think, Steve?
Yeah, I'm not sure so that's a real rarity, right? The NBA forever, I believe, is the biggest home advantage, whether it's the officiating or the crowd right on top of you. Honestly, NHL home ice has been virtually meaningless the last 10 years. I bet if you look at the playoffs, home and road is 500 a split. So I don't know why it's happening. It's obviously still early, really small sample size. Winnipeg is kind of a sleeper. They've forever had the whiteout, and yet the NHL wears the dark at home, so that's really weird. I've always been a home white uniform, road dark colors, so that's kind of odd. The Jets are the sleeper team. They could win the Stanley Cup, guys. We don't see them in the States. I'm not sure we carried a Winnipeg Jets a game on our air all season prior to last night, and that was on ESPN2 with a world feed. They've got the players, and they've got the goalie who might be the best goalie in the NHL, and Connor Hellebuck. And he gave up 6 last night and still won. So, but absolutely, people don't know Winnipeg, outside of hockey. The Jets could be a force. They play in a tiny barn, maybe 14,000 capacity. They've had some attendance problems there too. but a long run could really help this franchise.
Oh, good for I didn't know all that. Good for them.
Hell yeah,
Good for them. Because last night was a celebration of it all. Go ahead, AJ.
Steve, when you look at like teams that have like the roster to make a run and actually win the Stanley Cup, what's kind of the formula? What kind of roster do you need? Big, physical dudes with obviously, I think we all know you have to have a goalie if you want to win it all. But like, what's the formula, and who do you think kind of has the best chance moving forward?
So strength down the middle, kind of like in the other sports. You really need two top centers, one highly skilled and one big and physical checking type. You need a lead defenseman. You need a top guy who can run your power play, and then you need the goaltender. And so there are only a handful of teams that really have all those ingredients. I think the Rangers certainly are one of those teams. Dallas and Las Vegas, those are two teams. And here's where the NHL's playoff format, it becomes an issue, because they're playing these great first-round matchups and their rivalries and all that. But like Dallas and Vegas are two cup contenders for sure. They'd be way up on the board, and we're going to lose one of them after the first round. So that's an issue. Same sort of deal, Toronto and Boston. You're going to lose a great team. In the old days, when I was a kid, they would play 1 versus 16, which really values the regular season, which is a real positive, right? The best team plays the worst team. And then you could get two teams in the same division in the Stanley Cup final even. But now that really can't happen anymore. But because the division plays enhanced, you play teams in your own division more in the regular season, so it's not a balanced schedule. Something's got to give. But that Vegas-Dallas, those are two Stanley Cup contenders, and one's going home in the first round.
Oh, no, Texas hockey.
First in the West, brother. We gave Gary let Vegas rest a few more nights, too, so we start on Monday. It's great.
Oh, wait until you see the salary cap moves we're making, pal.
Yeah, everyone's healthy now. They can play tonight. It's
Oh, that's because that Golden Knights undefeated on the ice beforehand. Ain't that right, Todd?
That's exactly right.
One loss.
What?
I don't know.
He got dropped at center ice.
Hey, did the Golden Knight ever lose? He never lost, right?
No, he did. I did the game. I did the game. I was there. The ceremony
no.
It's over.
Yes.
It's
he
over.
wiped out on ESPN. You know the odds on us having that game, and that was the one, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I haven't said it in a while, but it sounds like it's Joe Bover for the Golden Knight.
I always knew he was a front runner.
How did he lose?
Wow.
What do you mean?
How many has he won? You're just going to think about the one loss that this guy had?
No, that's his whole gimmick is like, hey, this guy never loses, and he ate shit on the ice on a nationally televised game.
Well, it was a slippery ice, dude. What do you expect out of the guy?
Probably Zamboni.
The Washington Generals deal, you're going to lose, like never, except he lost. He slipped. I think he blew a tire on the ice.
Oh, lost an edge. Guy lost an edge.
That must be haunting that guy.
Oh, every night.
To his core.
He's in there sharpening his skates every single. Did you hear what Ryan said? I think we got a couple skate sharpeners from them, and that's it.
Maybe a washing machine.
Just that's what I was going to ask. Did we get a washing machine in the deal, or what do we have popping off? Ty has a
budget in Phoenix. Yeah.
On that note about the Golden Knight, go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Steve, speaking of the Golden Knights, do we know, like, guys like Stoner, are they set to play in this series? And realistically, I mean, I know they were 3-0 against Dallas in the regular season, but what would you say their odds are to actually repeat this year?
I don't like it now, man, because even if they get through this first round, they're going to be beaten and bruised. This is a war. This is 7 games. I was talking to Mess about this the other day, and who knows better than him? The first round is just treacherous. And if you want to win the Stanley Cup, you sort of got to get that first round in 5, maybe 6 max. Very few teams. I think the Kings in the early 2000s there, 2013 maybe, they went 7 games, all 4 rounds. That almost never happens. So, but yeah, Stone has been cleared, full contact, miracle, Hurdle's back, he's scoring goals. So Vegas will be a tough out, but again, the draw is terrible, really, for both of those teams, Vegas and Dallas.
Oh, Texas hockey, sorry about it.
Sorry, Paul.
112 of our last 14. We're on fire right now, boys.
Oh, it's playoff.
You're going to have to
hockey.
beat Vegas at some point, aren't you?
Oh, you guys are going to try to lift Lordo?
You got to be the best. You got to beat the best. You know how it goes.
Oh, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
There it is.
Well,
I picked Dallas. I got Dallas. I got Dallas coming out and winning the West. That was my pick.
Well, that's because Steve saw the Golden Knight right in front of him.
He knows the truth.
That's because he saw it. He knew exactly what was going to take place. Tone's got a question for you, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, you talk about Dallas and Vegas and that being that kind of matchup in the West. the game yesterday I watched between the Panthers and Lightning, that series kind of felt like the same. And the Panthers had that incredible run, 3/4 away through the season, and then they kind of let the gas off or took their foot off the gas, towards the end of the season. Can the Panthers make a run back to the final?
Absolutely. For a long time, they were the best team in hockey during this regular season. You talked about that. I think their run last year really helps them, the experience of going through it. And you remember at the end, like Kachuk had a broken clavicle. He's trying to play through it. These guys they're warriors. They're monsters. And, he could barely do anything. And so a healthy Kachuk, if he can get through this, is really good. So to me, this is the sleeper series kind of thing. Like, it's not the big market, right? Nobody really wants to go to Sunrise, Florida. And there's probably some, overkill from Tampa because they've been in it every year and people might be tired of the Lightning. But this is a war on ice. These two teams really hate each other. And of all the series, this was probably my favorite series going in. And I'm hoping to see one or two of these games in person. This is a war. Tampa's tested tough. They've got the veterans. They've got the guys who've been through it in Florida. Last year they're the 8th seed, right? That's the other thing about the NHL, right? In the NBA, your 8 seeds not getting to the NBA Finals just never happens. And in hockey, Florida got in on like the last day, knocked out the Bruins, who had the best regular season in history, and made it to the Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah, speaking of that, we got the Pasta jersey still hanging in the rafters of the Thunderdome to celebrate the greatest regular season in the history of the NHL. Way to go.
Yeah.
Greatest regular season ever. Right. That matters. Look at it. We're hanging a jersey. We're hanging a jersey, a sweater, a tarp. We're hanging it to remember that forever. They looked good against Toronto to start this whole thing. A lot of teams did.
They got an interesting decision to make too, right? In goal. In hockey, you win a game, a playoff game, you never change your goalie. And there's real talk they're going to change their goalie because that's how they've been successful.
Swayman standing on his head.
You want to win, put Swayman in. We know what to do.
Steve, they can't do that, right? Like if you're looking at it just from the outside as someone who's not a fan or anything, you got to ride the hot hand. And, this kind of happened
That's traditionally the way in a traditional sport. So last year, I saw you hung Pasta's jersey there. They prefer the banner than the 88 up there, but
amen.
They have that great regular season by alternating goalies. They don't alternate. They try to ride the hot hand with Omar, who won the Vezina, and they flamed out in the first round. So is Jim Montgomery going to make that same mistake? The Bruins formula has been very carefully created here. And their formula says they go Omar can go away from Swayman and stay with the alternating system. No. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but to me, that's the biggest question right now tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That'll be fascinating.
Yeah, it will be fascinating. Also, Biz, Boston Connor, 10 public push-ups
That's right.
on the line. Those can be tough to have to pull off in the middle of a TV seg.
Yeah.
Got to do 2 push-ups here, 2 push-ups there. Then we see Patty Maroon start tossing bodies around. We're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is a different Boston Bruins than it was last year. I know this is a different Toronto Maple Leafs, but last year, what were the Bruins up?
They were up 3-1 after game 4,
so
and
it's
actually
not over.
game 5 it was tied, and Marchand had a breakaway right before.
Yes, he did.
Right before the end of regulation, and it got stuffed, and then they won in overtime, and it was 3-2. And then instead of switching,
and then what happens?
Going into game 6, instead of switching goalies, they try to do Olmark one more time. Olmark never played 6 games in a row during the regular season. That was his 6th game in a row. We lose game 6 in Florida. Game 7, Swayman starts.
3-3 now.
3-3. Game 7, we go Swayman. His first game is game 7.
Ugh.
We lose in overtime.
Oh, no. And you guys, greatest regular season of all time. Who cares?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's similar to having the greatest player of all time and not being in the playoffs, like the Penguins.
Oh, my God.
That was uncalled
Kind of
for.
the same
There was
thing.
no reason.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah, you just kind of connected the dots.
Well, he brought it up already. Okay, so we've been taking enough shots at a team that isn't in the playoffs. We get it. Okay, it might be over. We get it.
But not much.
Jaromir Jagr's still scoring goals. He was in the building. Why can't we put him on the ice? I don't know. Maybe it's this Fenway Sports Group, Steve. I hate them.
Yep.
I don't like them.
Pat, that's one of Sid's best seasons ever. I don't care. Sid just had one of the best seasons of his personal career.
We know.
All-time guy.
Get him out of there, Steve. Someone need to save him, or else he's going to die in Pittsburgh. No one's going to give a shit about his last couple best years.
Why don't we send him to Salt Lake City?
That's a good idea.
What's everybody talking about here? He's a Pittsburgh Penguin. He's not a Salt Lake.
Let him soak.
A Salt Lake.
Soak?
Let
What
him
is your
soak.
name? What are you calling him, Steve? What do you think? You're the best guess.
HC. Right now, I think they're gonna go HC, either Utah or Salt Lake City HC, like hockey club, until they figure out a better name.
Oh.
I like it. What if they just did hockey club and didn't even use the city?
There's something cool about that, right, guys? That would be different, kind of
We
cool.
didn't mind football team.
No.
Football team won us over. Football team won. We're the Concava Soccer
Exactly.
Club. Yeah. It's a good name.
If they were just the hockey club.
Well, it'd have to be SLCHC.
No, Salt Lake's not in it, he said already.
No, I know,
Right?
but if it's
Oh, they're going
HC,
Utah?
Well, did he say that?
I thought so. I thought he said, yeah, it's going to, probably because it makes too much sense to go Salt Lake Soakers. So they're just going to be Utah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Utah, he said.
Yeah, so Utah Quakers then. If they're doing this poll,
Yep.
we got to make sure we figure it out. He's very, he does not love that we have just drove every
he
conversation
talks right through it. Though.
directly to Soakerville.
Yeah.
Directly to it. We can't help ourselves. We're talking Utah. These ears heard.
Yep.
Okay, it's not my fault. Blame somebody out there that put it in there. He does not want that to be the name of his hockey team. That makes sense for him. Nick has a question for you. Oh, Nicky Skates.
Steve, we got a matchup that no one seems really talking about with one of the best players in the world, McJesus, Connor McDavid up in Edmonton, and maybe that's why, because it's so far left. The LA Kings kicking off tonight with the Edmonton Oilers. What are your thoughts on this series, and can Edmonton finally get over that hump and make a run to the finals where they haven't been with McJesus and, hold off LA, who's really kind of rebounded?
I think this is a quick one. I don't pick a lot of quick series. I think this feels like, I don't want to say sweep because that hurts people's feelings. This feels like an Edmonton in 5. I got a chance to see the Kings down the stretch, and they didn't look particularly good. Kings don't play exciting hockey. They sort of choke you to death. And so maybe that's something they have in their advantage to try to shut down McDavid and Draisaitl and high-flying Oilers squad. So I love Edmonton. They've gotten close. They haven't been able to just get over the hump. And I'm not, the window closing thing, like he's still 27. I mean, he's right in his prime, but I think he's getting frustrated, and understandably so. They improve that club every year. They're better, and we'll see if their goaltending can hold up. But I definitely like them in the first round, and I think in a first-round quickie for Edmonton.
McDavid is awesome to watch. We've gotten to see him a couple times now. He is spectacular to watch. Edmonton is way up there. Way up there. The red dot is Winnipeg, and then Edmonton is up and to the left of that thing. You guys zoom in a little bit, Z?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, near Saskatoon.
Above Calgary, up there in Alberta. Yeah, it is left of Saskatoon, I do believe.
Yeah. Oh, in Saskatchewan.
That's way up there.
White Ave will be buzzing tonight.
Who?
White Ave. It's like the road all the bars are in Edmonton.
Have you been to Edmonton?
Oh, yeah.
Good times in Edmonton.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. It seems cold as shit. Look how high it is.
Oh, it is freezing in Alberta, brother. Freezing.
I mean, look, Vancouver's way down here. Winnipeg's way down here. Niagara Falls, obviously, way down here. Everything's like kind of near our border because I assume weather. And then you got Edmonton up there rocking, way up there. It's like that's got to be, like a month or two of warm weather up there?
Thanks.
Basically, 2 or 3.
You get a geography lesson from you guys every day. This is beautiful.
Well, Steve, we didn't know we were going to do this, but then Winnipeg got brought up, and I thought to myself, where the hell? I want to go there. That arena looked awesome. Where is it? Had no idea it was potentially in between North Dakota and Minnesota's border, just a little bit north. Edmonton looks cold as shit.
Yeah, free agents love going to Winnipeg and Edmonton. They absolutely love it.
What about Calgary? What about Calgary?
That's a little tough sell sometimes, too.
At least it's not Manitoba.
Look at Vancouver down there, though. Basically Seattle. Jeez Louise. All right, Steve. Have an incredible NHL playoffs. We appreciate you so much, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, and thank you for being a friend of the NHL. All your hockey talk, I thought I was on the NHL Network. It's great, man.
Wait a second. So we can't talk hockey on ESPN without bringing up Barry Melrose. How is Barry doing? And obviously send our love to him, a man who we watched in sweet suits cover hockey for a long time on ESPN. How's he doing?
You're a good man for asking. Thank you. I hold him dear to my heart. He's doing good. He's fighting the fight with that ugly Parkinson's thing. And it's funny, today's a significant day, and I really appreciate you bringing him up. The Foster Ewart Award is the broadcasting award for the Hockey Hall of Fame. They give out one every year. You get the plaque and the luncheon and all that. And in the past, Pat, for whatever reason, it's only been a local award. It's gone to local play-by-play or local color analysts on the broadcast. It's never before been open to network studio hosts and analysts. So like Don Cherry, for example, not in the Hall of Fame. Ron McClain, not in the Hall of Fame. Dave Hodge, not in the Hall of Fame. And so Barry has not had the opportunity. And now for the first time, the committee that votes on such thing, they are thinking about contemplating opening it up to network studio types, hosts and analysts and those kind of types. And I'm hoping if they do, in fact, pass that piece of it, that they'll consider Barry, who has been the face of hockey in the U.S. for 30 years. Man, we didn't even have hockey for 17 of those years, and Barry Melrose was still leading the way. You want to walk through an airport with a rock star? You walk through somewhere with Barry Melrose, man. He's special.
Yeah, he certainly is. And obviously, we have a lot of respect for all the local coverage and Paul Steigerwall and everybody in Pittsburgh that covered the Pens we grew up with, obviously. And
Mike Lang got it. Mike Lang got the award.
As he should.
As he scratched my back with a hacksaw, for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely should be in there. But, like, Barry Melrose was hockey to all of us. And his Canadian accent was what we knew of Canadian accents through him. So I hope that is the case. And thank you so much for the time. Let's have a great playoffs. We'll see you soon, okay? Whenever that turns to a tan as opposed to a burn.
Hopefully by next week. We'll see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Levy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Barry, I mean, that just seems like a alley-oop, hopefully.
for sure.
But we'll see. A one-timer, sorry. But
well said.
I do hope it happens. And shout out to Barry fighting a good fight. Parkinson's, man. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Keep going, Barry. What a legend. What a day. We'll be passing the baton to SportsCenter, which will begin in 7 minutes. We'll be back tomorrow on this Draft Spectacular week. We cannot wait to chit-chat about whatever the hell happens tonight. Hockey, NBA, Monday Night Raw in Columbus, Ohio on USA Network. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Right on.
Wow, that was
right
great.
Done.
Right on.
That was a Hall of Fame out.
That was fresh. I mean, that's fresh out of a long weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not just a long weekend. Holidays, too.
420 weekend,
Yeah.
Steve Levy did look like he just got back from a trip to the sun.
He did.
That'll happen.
All right, let's take a break. We got Daniel Jeremiah joining us.
Oh, yeah.
To start the next hour.
He's dialed in. He is dialed.
Dialed.
He knows by this.
Like that Shefter Intel notes and everything like that, huge. Because now we're hearing about who's thinking about trading. Daniel Jeremiah is like, all right, who likes who? That is his big thing. He's been the number one draft guy for the last 2 years, I think, back to back since we've been covering it. He's the number one guy. Is the hay in the barn? That's what we'll ask.
Yeah, we'll find out.
His mock draft last year had Will Anderson to the Texans at 3.
And C.J. Stroud to the Texans at 2.
Yeah.
When everybody was losing their mind, it was like Daniel Jeremiah told us this yesterday that this was going to happen. Can't wait to chat with how he's feeling it's going to go on this beautiful Draft Spectacular Monday. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5! T-Pain is a absolute weapon.
What's the song?
Chuck, I heard you in the shower today. You were listening to I'm in Love with a Stripper.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
I can take you to a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin. That's him as well.
That was him and Jay, too.
Wisconsin?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you
he
got to
rhymes.
make it.
You gotta make
That's
it.
music.
Yeah.
They say he deserves an award for rhyming that together.
Yeah, that's actually one of the greatest bars in the history of music, they say.
He didn't do It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, did he?
No, I think that was way before Teddy Payne became a
But good pull.
a musical.
You know, it's hard out here for a pimp.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll play
Make the
that.
money for the
3-6.
With the Cadillac and gas money spent, you have a whole lot of bitches jumping ship.
There it is, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky. Dan, do you remember when you said? Mac Jones could do exactly what Brock Purdy's doing out there? Was that what started the entire kind of Brock Purdy is? That's JJ. We're getting good close look on JJ.
A big head.
Was it
Excited
you?
to hear this.
Was it you, Dan? Do we think it was you, or who do we think it was that started the whole Brock Purdy's not good at football thing?
I think it was you.
No.
We know, actually.
Dude, I can't stand you, man.
Keep the hot takes coming, bud. Keep the hot takes coming.
Just keep doing Dan Orlovsky stuff.
Look at that haircut.
We're lucky. We are very lucky for you, Dan Orlovsky.
Hair does look great.
Ty, you had a hell of a performance last night. You sounded a siren. Obviously, you started the party. You were on the ice at one point.
Old Knights win 3-1. I'm gonna be out here for fucking 35 minutes, going 5 miles an hour in a circle, just.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Wait, is that Ty Schmidt from the Pat McAfee Show?
What a thrill. Are you kidding me? Ride around on the ice for fucking 25 minutes, 2 miles an hour. Nothing better, dude. Nothing better.
And you would think, like, okay, he started the game. He kept the ice fresh for the boys. That's got to be all a super fan night is, right? No. Then he got the sword in the shield, and that went about as bad as it possibly could.
I did exactly what the Golden Knight told me to do.
No,
I'll be honest.
It was after he banged on that shield. 15 seconds later, they get the go-ahead goal. Ty got to give fist bumps to the boys as they were going to the locker room, and then we got a chance to go in the locker room afterwards and talk to the boys.
Where'd you get 66?
Don't ask stupid questions, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna smack you in the teeth. We're not gonna use hands.
I had no idea what to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Shock that.
Yeah,
Shock.
I can't make it.
Steve Smith Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach of the Utah Utes football team, pulling in on a Harley-Davidson Sportster, I do believe, Coach Kyle Whittingham.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wished for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to the conclusion no one's touching this. Just finished and made a voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm shot to kill them off, whatever the take down. Seen the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Mighty Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. And today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all. Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life?
Yes.
All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here at the University of Utah, the Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home, and today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening. You guys were absolutely that this is a town you jacked.
Lighting's great. Hello, Mountaineerland. I'm Pat McAfee, your kicker and punter.
Pat McAfee made a superb open field tackle near midfield. Pick up the Bulldogs' drive on a 2nd and 6.
Nice try. And we have the wheels. The kicker did it again. The second week in a row, Pat McAfee saves further damage. advantage. And look at that, Pat McAfee getting major props on the sideline.
Iglesias turns the corner across midfield. McAfee in his way. And Iglesias is wrapped up by the kicker at the 33.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Draft Spectacular Week, Monday, April 22nd, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports!
See.
Big one. A lot of pizzazz there.
Oh.
I saw no pizzazz. There's a lot of pizzazz in a man named Mike Foss's running motion.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So much so that he hurt his knee.
No.
Yeah, he hurt his knees. Too much pizzazz.
And his wrist, right?
Too much pizzazz. He was running this way as opposed to this way, and his knee just... No, I think his wrists are okay, but that's next on the docket.
That's what I thought.
He needs to watch with the way he has not been knocked out of TST, though, I've been told.
Okay, good.
MRI scans say he'll be good for TST, which is good news. Obviously, that's in the middle of June, and it's been fun to get back after it. A man who's always getting after it in the great state of Ohio, the president of Ohio, the Hall of Famer of Ohio State, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
That might be Holger.
The talk stable's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. And, I just saw a video on my phone that got sent to the group text of baseball being awesome, and it involves an umpire, and it involves Aaron Boone, the manager of the New York Yankees, and also a fan who is an incredible shit talker that made its way to the umpire named...
I don't know who the umpire was.
I mean, he looks like a guy we should know his name, though. We're talking about a memorable build.
Okay.
This particular fella.
Dog.
This is happening. This just happened in the Athletics-Yankees baseball game. It's wonderful. It is absolute. It's out of a movie. It's baseball. It's now.
Is the first base umpire you saw making that call?
You're not yelling at me. I did what I was supposed to do in check. I'm looking for him to get hit by the pin. You got anything else to say? You're gone. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Hunter? Wow. You know what? We're not going to need a John Boy breakdown of that one. We got a very clear.
Shut up, John Boy.
Yeah, there you go. And now Aaron's saying I didn't say anything. Aaron's saying, hold on a second, I didn't say a word.
What do you mean you don't care?
Oh.
I did not say anything, Hunter. Okay, I did not say a fucking
Is the first base.
Oh, man.
Baseball's the best.
That might be Booney.
Hunter Wendstottle, I guess is that guy's name?
Nice.
Or, yeah, something like that.
Of course.
He's not playing any games. Wendell Stottle's not playing any games. You say it again, you're out of here. The pizzazz on Hunter Wendell
Oh,
there.
yeah.
The throw, he was actually picking him up, and he was throwing him like a beer pong ball out of the stadium. I love the pizzazz, and I like the fact that, okay, all right, Aaron Boone said to him, all right, you got it. Very quiet here, awkwardly loud. Everybody hears this in the entire stadium somehow. Good acoustics in this place, good acoustics. Short porch, good acoustics. And then all of a sudden, he's just hanging out, and some New Yorker's like, nah, Aaron Boone, that's bullshit. Hey, don't you fucking talk to Aaron Boone that way. And he goes, you're out of here. I didn't say anything. I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? That's my favorite part of it all. Baseball creates those moments more than any other sport ever.
By far.
Just like such a cartoonish situation that somebody sitting in a $5,000 seat is the one that got Aaron Boone kicked out of the game today. And Hunter Wendell couldn't wait to utilize his power, Ty.
Yeah, it's a problem. You know, you got these badge-heavy Barney Fife fuck umpires behind. This is the top of the first inning, all right? This game has been going on for, at that point, maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes. I mean, like, this isn't some dad yelling in a 5th grade baseball game. Like, are you kidding me? You can't throw him out that early. And then, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I love the...
There is no outs.
That's what I'm saying.
One pitch Top of the first.
We are maybe. I don't know. He
Maybe
said
3 minutes in.
Yeah, he said something about
Somebody got walked.
Yeah. He said he's trying to see if he got hit by a pitch. So it's possible that we are 2 pitches into this baseball game, and he just tosses that. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. And now everyone knows too that this guy's a bitch. So hey, you gotta.
Hunter Wendenstottle.
Yeah, Mr. Wendenstottle.
Yes.
I mean, give me a break. Take your croakies off, you jackass.
Hold on. He said he saw the heat Angel Martinez was getting and was like, wait a minute.
I got your back.
He's not even that entertaining. He's just calling clear strikes balls. That's easy. Anybody could do that. I'm going to kick a fucker out of here for something that a fan said.
Yeah.
I'm going to one-up this dude, AJ. I actually like the cut of Hunter Wendenstottle's chip. I like what he's doing.
Wendenstottle's got to get control of this game. He's not going to let it get away from him. So if you got to throw somebody out 2 pitches in, that's what you have to do, I guess.
H-Dub,
Yeah.
he's known right there across his chest.
Yeah, H-Dub.
Right next to the American flag. You're fucking right, by the way. Don't you even.
Look at his pen. He's got an American flag pen even in his pocket.
Damn right.
Goddamn right. And there is the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, but not to me, motherfucker.
No.
Well, I didn't say anything.
On this diamond.
Yep.
Baseball's the greatest.
Oh man.
We got an interpreter stealing $16 million for the biggest star in the game.
Yep.
Maybe the greatest of all time. Right underneath his nose, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a fan getting a coach ejected 2 pitches into a game. Hey, baseball's heating up.
Here we go.
Baseball.
Baseball's heating up.
And we found out Shohei can understand English completely.
Okay.
I'm just making sure we're all updated on the situation.
That was quite a piece of information.
Oh no, he can hold a conversation in English.
Jet?
He knows what everyone's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, when Jet was like, "What do you mean Shohei doesn't even need the interpreter?" No, it's like, well, how the fuck?
Well then,
Jet, you probably shouldn't be saying that. Does Shohei want this out there?
Was that Tom Verducci they saying that? Or
It doesn't necessarily go to the whole. Well, how was he misled? Was there?
I thought.
I'm sure we'll get figured out.
Still, baseball. These situations.
Baseball's heating up.
Yeah.
Baseball's heating up.
Go.
Congrats to baseball. We love it. Hunter Wendenstottle might be my new favorite.
He's up there.
He's got it all.
Yeah,
Get
he
him to
does.
the NFL.
Power hungry, actually hungry,
Yep.
pizzazz,
Yeah. Croakies.
croakies.
The build.
How about the jawline?
Yeah.
He's got a freshly shaved.
Oh yeah.
His whole life.
good.
His kids should walk out without a fresh shaved face.
Oh.
What are you doing with this shit?
Doing it with a butter knife on his own at the breakfast table.
All right, baseball's heating up as it will for the next 10 months, for the next 4,000 games. And they all matter. That's why getting kicked out after 2 pitches is certainly a big-time problem for the New York Yankees. Don't know if you know this. The Pirates are poised for a massive, massive heater,
Wow.
I think
why?
they've lost like 9 of their last 11.
which is what I'm talking about.
They just got swept by the Red Sox.
They're due.
The Boston Red Sox.
Boom. Your team stinks, but also the Pirates were the best team in baseball, okay? And at that time, the Yankees scored 0 runs in 10 innings. I watched it. Aaron Judge, 0 for 4. Yankees score 0 runs in 10. Could you imagine going to a game in both 0-0 extra innings?
I never leave my house again.
Pitcher's duel, baby.
0-0 extra innings. Anyways, the Pirates will get back on top.
Yep.
Let's go to the draft, which is happening on Thursday. The draft spectacular for us kicks off at 7:30 with Bill Belichick hosting a rundown of all the things that could potentially happen in the next 10 hours worth of picks in the first round. And then obviously we kick off as the draft kicks off. And I will say this. There's been one man that we've looked at his mocks over the last few years and said, damn, this guy seemingly knows more than everybody else. He's the guy that hosts the Combine alongside Rich Eisen, friend of the program, color commentator for the Chargers. Ladies and gentlemen, move the sticks, Daniel Jeremiah. DJ,
what's up, boys?
Hey, did you get to see Hunter Wendenstottle there? Kind of abuse his power?
I did.
What are your thoughts on that?
Here's my question. Number one, have you ever seen Mr. Incredible and that umpire in the same place at the same time? I'm just saying, it's never. Look at that. Look at that. The glasses. That's like the kid. Like that's what the whole outfit. It's like he's dressed up as Mr. Incredible for Halloween, and he's out there calling balls and strikes.
I don't know enough about Wendenstottle to kind of label him Mr. Incredible, but I would assume after just seeing a brief moment of this guy's life that they are kind of pulling from his creatively to create awesome superheroes. Wendenstottle's not taking any shit from anybody, and Wendenstottle is going to let it be known. Let's move to the draft here, DJ.
Yeah.
It's Monday of Draft Spectacular Week. You have been the best mock drafter, I think, by points, by analysts, and by opinions the last few years. Is the hay in the barn right now? Do teams know who they're going to take? And how do you feel about how the first 10 are going to shape up here?
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's a ton known. I would just say you kind of go off where you are right now. I turn in mine on Tuesday mornings. So I used to fight against it because we have this show, this mock draft show that comes out Wednesday night. They got to prepare the show. And then I used to be like, God, I just need a little more time to get closer to Thursday. And then I realized all the information you get from like Tuesday to Thursday is all crap. So you're better off just turning that thing in Tuesday morning and run with it. But I feel like, one, obviously Caleb. Two, everybody's been saying it for a long time. And now like it went from people, I think this is going to happen, to man, it seems to be overwhelming that Jaden seems to be pretty locked in there at 2. And then everything I've heard in calls this morning was that New England wasn't, they might be listening, but they weren't going to get out of there. That their plan at the beginning of free agency was we're going to sign a quarterback for $8 to $10 million, which is exactly what they did with Jacoby Brissett, and that they were going to take a quarterback at 3. And that would lead me to believe that we see Drake May go 3.
Okay, so about that, Connor has a question for you because seemingly what you were saying and what ESPN is saying a little bit different at the top.
Yeah, DJ, obviously leading up to this week, there is a lot of bullshit, but for a majority of the previous weeks, the NFL Network mock drafts had Jaden going 3, and the ESPN mock drafts had Jaden going 2. Is that strictly like a deal between NFL Network and ESPN? Like, hey, we have to be a little different, so we'll put him 2? Or why is that? Is there actual fodder about number 2 being up in the air, especially now with all this agent drama?
Yeah, I always just say, when you're doing these mock drafts, I try to do that with my ears and what I'm hearing, and then you rank the players as I see them and what I think there. As we, certain teams, you have more, there's more out there on, people around the league are talking, and I'm buying it. With that one, I was like, everything in my gut was kind of saying, this feels like Washington. Drake May, kind of bigger, more physical guy. It kind of fits them a little better. I had talked to people that, had been discussing this with Dan Quinn and his buddies around the league, and they said he kept talking about, I need to find my Matt Ryan, and I went to the Super Bowl with Matt Ryan. So that's why I was kind of hung up on, and I was sitting there going like, okay, well, that feels like Drake May. It would be kind of more that type of player. So that's why I've been thinking this whole process that Drake May, fits better with Washington. And then now, as you're coming down the home stretch, it's like, okay, there's too much. Like it's at some point in time, it's like I can't inject my own personal opinion here. This is just overwhelming that everybody's that I talk to is saying that it's going to be Jaden. So that's why I have it there now. Okay. But it is a good idea. Staying on opposite sides as the other network, and look at all this conversation that we can drive for the month.
Oh yeah, we've been very grateful for all you mock drafters over the last few years, very much, because you guys get cooked, you get absolutely slaughtered, and then you get celebrated as well by some teams. All you got to do is just type into your column that team is getting somebody that their fans would like, and you're a hero. But do it on the flip side, and you're an absolute stooge. We've been doing the same exact thing, so we apologize and we appreciate it. Go ahead, AJ.
DJ, for some of these trades, when someone's coming from like middle to the end of the first round, they're trying to get up. When do they initiate these things? Are they talking now behind the scenes? What's happening? And I would assume some things happen on draft day, draft night, probably a lot quicker than we even know.
Yeah, I mean, usually what the phone calls are, you're making those really this week, like starting right now, all the way through till this thing starts. And basically the conversations are, all right, we have, there's one particular player we like, so we'll call these teams that are up in front of us. Hey, if this player, if we're not going to tell you who it is, but if our player's there, we'd be willing, we'd want to come up. And you can kind of discuss some of the parameters of kind of what you'd be looking for. And the team there would be like, well, if we get wiped out, if the 4 guys that we really like are all 4 of them are gone, then we'd be willing to move out. And you kind of put some framework of a deal in place so that when you make the call on the clock, it literally the first question is your guy there? Are you sticking and picking? You'll our guy's here, we're good. Or it's like, we can do that deal we talked about. We got wiped out. You're a guy there. Yep. All right, then let's do the deal. But usually it's not the first time you've talked to these people, like when you're on the clock.
You sticking and picking or waiting and trading? What do you what do you got going on here? I love that the chatter between the GMs, because the more GMs we talk to, and we only knew a few, and then now we know like a handful, I would say. Yeah. And they like chat with us. There's a lot of conversation happening amongst GMs on like a very regular basis. Like a very, because we I don't know if you heard this. So you're going to be giving commentary on NFL Network right during the draft on Thursday night?
I heard about this. I guessed it when I was on last time. You remember when you're we've got a guy coming on, and I said, remember, does this guy have does he need 2 hands to house his rings?
Yeah,
and then you cut me off.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
you weren't the only one. There was others that were trying to guess it as well. It's like, whoa, I've been giving it away too much here. We would like to make an announcement out of respect for said gentleman, but like you and him are going to be giving takes on each pick. Every single one. Fan bases are either going to be Daniel Jeremiah said. Bill said.
Bill Belichick, yeah.
Yeah, but
thanks for that, Pat. Appreciate it.
Daniel Jeremiah, he knows just like we. This is the whole. The conversation isn't that he's the greatest GM of all time ever. I think even NFL.com did like a top 20 general managers in the history of the NFL, and he wasn't even on it or something like that. Yep. It's like if anybody else was. Go ahead.
Question. On that, I'm reading through all this. Do I see anywhere in there 2-time Southern Conference Player of the Week? I don't see that. Call me crazy, but if you guys want to settle for this,
no, you'll be the one we're watching. Yeah, so we are big fans of yours, Daniel, and I'd assume Bill is as well the more we learn about him. You talk about the trades, though. There's been some chatter, obviously, from some GMs. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, DJ, Tom Telesco, Raiders GM, is doing a press conference right now, and he said they have a plan in place to be aggressive if they wanted to move up from 13. Now, there's been a lot of speculation because of Pierce and Daniels, because obviously at Arizona State, the Arizona State connections. Can you see the Raiders moving up because of that connection? Have you heard any talk about that? And of the teams sitting there, was it 11, 12, 13 that need a quarterback? Do you think one of them at least will move up?
Everything that I've heard as of this morning is that there's not a strong willingness for those teams picking 1, 2, 3 to move. So I would imagine that type of a move would be up for Jaden. I mean, that's the easy connection to make. I don't, see the Raiders. I don't think they would do that for Drake May. And then, so it's like we have these different waves. If the 3 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, now we turn to kind of the watch on this next group. And, you have, Minnesota, still, sounds like they could be a McCarthy team. Well, who are they competing against that? Because you hear Denver maybe, but Denver doesn't have a 2. So how aggressive do you want to be? Can you beat Denver with any type of package so you can be a little more patient? And then you have the Raiders, and like everybody's connected to these different quarterbacks. The Raiders have been connected to Jaden Daniels. The Raiders also feel like they've done a lot of work on Penix. They could be a Penix team. So to me, I would say the Raiders. I don't think they're going to have enough to get up there to get Jaden. So, and those teams aren't going to move. So then it becomes, well, do we think that Minnesota and us like the same player? And then it's a jockeying a position between those two. I would say the team's willingness to move up, I would go Vikings 1. I would probably go Raiders 2. I would go Broncos 3rd in that group.
Okay, so do you see, we asked Shefter this earlier, and it sounds like from the way it's all shaping up, and last year we had a trade for the number 3 overall pick, so I mean, there's what you predicted. Yeah. What you predicted.
Yep, correctly.
Which, big deal. That's a big deal. I mean, nobody.
Yeah, don't get used to it. Don't get used to it. That was maybe the 1 year.
No, the standard's the fucking standard, DJ. The standard's the standard. Let's make sure we know that. Connor just brought up a pretty good point here. Like, when A.J. Brown was traded from Tennessee to Philadelphia, obviously it was Hollywood Brown traded from Baltimore to Arizona. I mean, it's huge. We got a couple of wide receivers right across the NFL that we think are kind of anti, maybe in Cincinnati, even though he's come out and said
they're stubborn though, man. Like Cincinnati, when Cincinnati comes out and says like we're not doing something, usually they're not doing something.
Okay, so Ayuk would be the only one in conversation. We've seen the Niners obviously make moves in the draft before. Do you think there's going to be an alarming trade of a big name player potentially, or no?
I had some coffee this morning with Rap Sheet and asked him that question because I was like, we're talking so much about these picks. I'm like, if we have a veteran, and I'm sure like Shefter and Ian will be the ones to answer that, but I wouldn't rule that out. And I didn't, I think those names kind of came out of left field that year. So we talked about Ayuk. There's probably, I guarantee there's teams discussing, a few other veterans out there that we don't know about. That's one thing. Like you need to be guarded with who you're going to pick, but you better really be guarded if you're shopping your veteran players. If they're good enough player to get a return of a first or second round pick, the last thing you want to do is have that get out and then you don't get the trade done.
Yeah, because anytime you blow a deal, you potentially get fired for it. Mm-hmm. That's the implications of draft night for some of these GMs. in front office personnel.
No
It's like,
question.
if we blow this, yeah, we're done. We all understand that as we're turning this card in? Yep. Okay, sweet. As we trade away A.J. Brown, we know this relationship is irreparable?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that the proper pronunciation of that?
By the way, Vrabel did not do a great job of hiding his feelings
That's what I'm saying.
on that one. With that shot, the draft room shot. We always get 2 or 3 good draft room shots. That was one. He did not look pleased on that one.
This dumb mother.
You're kidding me.
I need 42 Zins. Okay. I need Marlboros. I'll take some beers as well. If I'm going to have to fucking work with this guy that just traded away our best player. Our best player just got traded out of here on draft night. It's supposed to be a happy night, a special night. Instead, we get worse somehow. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, DJ, most of these mock drafts, it seems like it's kind of all the same pool of players going in the same kind of range. But as we get closer to the draft, are there any names that are like really flying up the board where maybe they were late 20s or late teens, and now we're talking about them like just outside the top 10 or into that like 10 to 15 range?
Yeah, well, I mean, Latu's interesting just because he was such a difficult evaluation with the medical stuff. So, like, I've kind of always thought he would be in that, 13 to, 19 range and somewhere in there. And now it's, going late through the process, and I don't know why I didn't figure this one out earlier, but I talked to people and said, don't be shocked if Atlanta at 8 either took Byron Murphy, who's a really, really good player as a defensive tackle, the best one in this draft, or if they took Latu. And then I started looking at it. I'm like, let me look at who the heck is their coordinator again? And I'm like, Atlanta's coordinator is Jimmy Lake, who recruited him and coached him at University of Washington before he got medically retired and went to UCLA. So those are 2 defensive linemen I think you could see go all the way, potentially as high as like the 8th and 9th pick. So those guys definitely got some buzz in the process.
Latu, great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. He's a really, really good player. It's just hard to slot in because he's had the injuries, and you're like, okay, I just don't know at what point in time do you feel comfortable there.
And Fautanu out of Washington, I believe. That's another great name.
We have Fuaga, Fautanu, and Fashanu in this draft. What are the chances that we screw those names up?
No, you'll get it right. You're a professional. Once again, the standard's the standard. You just hit it right there. You'll get it right. You'll get it right.
I'm trying to set the bar. I'm trying to set the bar, and then just come in.
Over deliver. Yeah, but whenever you're on top of the mountain, that's not possible. You see, that's just not possible. You got to keep going up there. And how about we got a lad with 2 D's?
Yep.
A lad. We got a lad getting drafted potentially.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid's another incredible name.
Come on.
Hey, I guess I don't know how many years ago it was. Maybe 19 or 20. I forget the number of offensive people drafted in one draft. 19.
I think 19 is the record in the first.
19 most offensive players drafted. This is going to be it, right?
Yeah, I think we'll beat it. I did an exercise where we did the on the Move Sticks podcast with Bucky that we did the only offensive draft. Thank you. Appreciate it. We did only offensive players. We got to the 32nd pick, and I'm like, I still got plenty of names I could throw in here as like first round type players. And then we flipped it over into the defensive draft, and it's like you got to pick 10, and I'm like, holy crud. Like, yeah, this got thin real quick. So, yeah, it's going to be super offense heavy, a zillion tackles, a handful of quarterbacks potentially, and then a bunch of wideouts. So it's a huge offensive draft.
Can't wait to see who the Colts take at wide receiver. Go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, DJ, because of that point, do you think teams will be more likely to trade into the first round towards the end if some of those guys that are, the 10 first-round type defensive players are still there later on? Like, will that be a thing that teams start to do, or do you think that they'll just let it fall?
I think it kind of depends on where you see the line. I actually think if you're looking for trades in this draft, in the back of the draft, I'm looking at teams that need tackles, and I'm looking at to me there's a really good group of 6, 7, 8 tackles, but then after that I think it falls way off. So to me, if you're going to ask me a trade that I feel like it's got a real good shot at happening, is Washington is picking 36 and 40. You're getting ready to take a quarterback at 2. We assume it's going to be Jaden Daniels. And right now, Cornelius Lucas is your starting left tackle. I don't see them waiting till pick 36 and 40 to address that. They have the ammunition. They can come back in and get in on at least the back end of that top tackle group. So if you're, to me, I would keep an eye on that. Looking at teams that need tackles that are maybe out of reach of those top 8 guys, coming back in to go get one of them.
Yeah. need tackle. And also, that's one of those expensive positions where Bill talked about fifth-year option. You know, you draft them in the first round, even the tail end of the first round, that has the fifth-year option for you to potentially protect yourself down the road if it does work out. He also said year 2 is when we're looking for the, to see whether or not they're going to be NFL guys or not. Excited to see what happens on Thursday night through the weekend. You're working the whole weekend, right?
Yep, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I guess it's going to be a little cold here, by the way. As somebody who's scouted for 8 years and spent 150 plus nights on the road, you'd think I maybe would look up the weather before I got on the airplane. But that was, nope, didn't happen.
You're just
a little nippy.
Yeah, I'm in my head. What's the date? April. Oh, it's warm.
Yeah.
And I'm just going.
That's what I did.
I went to Montreal last week. It was 85 degrees here. It was like 36 there. We go to Philadelphia for WrestleMania. It was like actual 32-degree breezes coming through my face. I was like, I'm not ready for this. It's warm. I'm in the spring. But you're an LA guy, so.
That's tough.
San Diego, slight difference there. Yeah.
Oh, even better.
And we're a little more laid back, and just sometimes people don't like LA. I'm a San Diego guy.
I've never met somebody that lives in San Diego that doesn't like San Diego, though. It's always like, it's the greatest.
Best.
Really?
It's the best. It's the best. You can't beat it. Everything you want to do, it's all there, and it's just super chill and laid back.
Skiing?
Old Town.
How about that?
Yeah. Hey, come on. What was that? Yes, a surfer ski, right? Was that that was Jerry Maguire, right? Wasn't
Max Holloway? You talking about Max Holloway's wife? Why are you bringing up Max Holloway's wife? She surfs. That's what she does.
Yeah, she's a surfer.
This guy's just making
What was Kush, right? Wasn't that his name, Kush?
That's weed. Yeah,
he was like,
sure.
I'll go to
Happy
the Broncos,
420,
I'll
bro.
surf or ski.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kush, bit
Back
above
in San
mid.
Diego.
Mid, that piece of shit. He's a terrible actor. Guy's bad character in the movie. All right, DJ, you're already up in Detroit?
Yep. Yeah, dude, come on, man. Look at this sweet setup here.
Double bed.
You got roommates.
Did you see the huge sign they just built?
You got roommates.
No. My son's coming, so that's the double bed.
Oh, okay, so you do. Yeah, we didn't know if it was you and a rap sheet.
Mad Money going on the car.
Rap sheet was over there.
No.
Could you imagine Ian Rappaport jumping into that bed?
First of all, the fact that he's graduating
smoking meat in the bathroom.
Great news. I was not aware of that.
What happened? What'd you say?
Sorry.
No, I didn't know that Ian graduated from a crib. I didn't know that was.
Oh, jeez. Hey, it's going to be a good week. We can't wait to see you up there. You're the man, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, boys.
Dana
See you guys.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, DJ!
He's really good at what he does. He said his shit's not until tomorrow, though. We should have had him on tomorrow. That would have been the right time. We rushed him. We forced him.
How do we know?
Said he had coffee this morning, rap sheet. I got off the phone with a couple people. He's still piecing the puzzle together.
I mean, it is draft spectacular. We can run it back.
Breaking news, we have a trade in the NFL. Former Jets starting quarterback and number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson, is now being traded to the Denver Broncos, hoping for a fresh start. The deal includes a late-round pick swap, 6th for 7th, and New York Jets will pay some of Wilson's roughly $5.5 million salary. Fresh start for a good boy.
Yeah,
he's a good boy.
Good boy.
Great boy. Sweet boy.
He's a good boy. He's from that area of the country. Utah's over there. It's much closer. I think the city would be great for him. Sean Payton, obviously, a mastermind on the offense. We all know that. We've seen the success that he had at the Saints. Are hoping for the same thing there. I think Zach Wilson was looking for a fresh start. The Jets were looking for a fresh start. And the Broncos certainly looking for a fresh start as well. Good for Zach. Good for the Broncos. Good for the Jets. It's a win-win-win, AJ. Win-win-win.
Yeah, it is. He gets to play with Sean Payton. Also, Zach, at least they traded for him. A team wants you. A team came in and gave up stuff to come get you, so they're not they're going to give you a shot to try to develop you and see what you can do.
And he can spin it.
He can.
Yeah,
he can spin it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You never know. You never know what a change of scenery can do, especially for a quarterback.
Well, especially, we talked to Zach a little bit.
He's a good boy.
He's a sweet boy.
Good dude.
Yeah.
He said he watched us, he's heard us, and obviously he knows of all the chitter chatter about him. I think he has experienced the New York media and the failure and a couple of different coaches, and I'm seeing ghosts. I mean, was that him?
That was Darnold.
Oh, but he's other blonde.
Yeah, same difference. They both sucked in New York.
Yeah. But Sam Darnold now with the Vikings has a shot. Has a shot with Kevin O'Connell. Well, but nonetheless, everything that happened was the mom and the
there you go.
That whole
There's a lot. There's a lot.
He now gets to kind of cleanse himself, go to Rockies with a team that is looking for a new person. And now the Broncos have a little security going into the draft that we have a guy that can spin it on our roster.
Yeah, I also get heavy Drew Lock vibes from Zach Wilson. And basically, Drew Lock's now in New York with the Giants, and Zach Wilson's going to Denver where Drew Lock was. It's just one big happy family.
Is Zach Wilson call that bitch my bodyguard? Yeah, that's my bodyguard.
No.
Like Drew Lock?
Yeah, that,
No.
Zach
Zach
like that kind of vibe.
Listen to like Mumford and Sons
when they were at the draft and
On the
everyone was
sideline.
standing next to
Hey,
each
Mumford's
They know they go hard. I know, but
Mumford does go real hard.
I agree.
I was really
love
just talking about a
Mumford and
blonde that could spin it.
I mean, Zach Wilson, if he gets out in that mountain air again,
Let's not do this.
like he's back in you.
You're right. I think you're right.
Let's
Like he's
not
a
do
big
this.
boy.
Pay him. Better open up your checkbook. You
Who
gotta pay
says
that
no?
dude.
Well,
The
the Jets
Jets
are
are.
actually paying.
Yeah.
Swapping a 6th
until
and a
it gets
7th, and we'll
approved.
pay for it, please.
Yeah.
Please. That's what they said. But imagine him just cross body in
I
front of that
know.
orange crush.
Yep,
His fan.
in those new uniforms.
Mile high, too thin or air.
Oh,
Oh my God, that's a missile.
You think Team 3 still in Denver? Can he pick up a few of them?
It's Team 2 now.
Oh,
That's right. What if he did just acquire Team 3, turn him into Team 2?
No, Team 3's at home. Okay,
Where's that?
that's right in Pittsburgh.
I saw him wear a glove for the opening pitch.
Wore a glove. He wore full BP, 4 BP. Yeah, I mean he was doing it. I
He
think
was hitting dongs.
Yeah, 17 home runs in 20 pitches.
he
Pretty
burned
good.
that fucking sucker down the middle
He did
too.
too.
whoa.
I appreciate that he.
Yeah, he's not fucking around.
Playing catch with
The whole
Kutch.
thing.
Just
Yeah,
spinning it.
Yeah, well, Kutch, I mean, he's playing catch with Kutch because he's not sure how longer Kutch is going to be in Pittsburgh.
Nice pitch.
It's a great pitch. And he has a glove on. I mean, ceremonial pitch, normally you don't get to wear the glove, but he was taking a little BP and some infield practice earlier, so he kept his glove. And
He's not even on the mound.
Well, he
What?
got
Wait,
he's
he didn't go all the way up to the rubber?
What?
He didn't go to the rubber.
What have you never
he's up
used
top.
your eyes before?
Okay, no.
He's up
sorry,
top.
I just saw the end of it. I just saw
Just
that
real
part.
quick, you think Russell Wilson is
Yeah.
not going to throw from
Absolutely not. That's why I was so stunned.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins threw one out, and he was not on that mound. But it was a good throw.
Well, that's Kirk
Well,
Cousins'
not Russ
baseball.
Wilson,
He's a
yeah.
killer.
They probably told him you can't go. Probably said you can't go up to the
Also
rubber.
didn't have a glove on.
Well, yeah, that's Kirk Cousins' baseball as well. Kirk said, I'm not throwing Saturday. I'm not throwing on Saturdays.
No,
Well, you can just kind of go up and throw it. All right, I will. What if he floated?
That'd be sweet.
What if Kirk Cousins?
Well, it could have been Tuesday too. It's his off day.
We learned that in the quarterback series. Did anybody watch the Matthew Stafford doc? Did you watch it?
I did not. I was not aware of it. Where can I find it?
That's the problem.
I think NFL Plus.
No,
Is that where it's at?
It was on network.
No.
I'm not sure. I thought it was like MGM Plus. I actually thought that's where it was. And they
You should
just
watch that. That's probably good.
that'd be a huge mistake if
Yeah.
it's on one of those types.
Well, these doofuses. I don't want to.
It's on YouTube, Gertie's saying.
Okay, that's good news. That's smart.
If you have a primetime subscription.
Well, that's super duper.
what the hell does that mean?
Which leads us back to Thursday. We'll be live on YouTube,
What?
ESPN.com,
What?
ESPN Plus,
What?
TikTok Live. You got 9 months. They need to sell that.
Is that the deal now? That's what passed?
That's what.
To an American company, they have to sell it? Is that what it is?
I don't know if it's just American company. I just think it can't be.
CCP.
Yeah, directly from.
Is it a weird time that Elon wants to bring back Vine?
Yeah, he's Elon's stirring the pot, and Jake Paul even told him like, "Hey, we'll get back in there," because Jake Paul and Logan Paul actually killed Vine and created the YouTube avenue, which everybody else kind of followed suit. I mean, the Paul brothers, they are forces of nature. Like that is just on the internet game, and they have been through this entire thing. Yeah. But yeah, we need like Elon or somebody to buy TikTok. I had 9 months because when I got this information just texted to me, I'm like, this feels like public information.
Definitely.
When is this going to be announced? Don't know. I'm like, we need to find an owner. Don't we need to find somebody to save TikTok as well? This news needs to be out soon. And I'm not saying that my particular tweet is going to find the owner, but I did see news picked it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to find a bazillionaire to buy it.
Yep.
Because TikTok is a...
What's that going to go for? Is that more than Twitter went, you think?
Yeah.
Twitter's what, 44
Yeah.
billion?
TikTok go more than that?
It's a good
So
question.
you start looking at the prices of some companies, like I think Apple's $2.7 trillion net. And then like Google is like $1.8 trillion net or 1.9 trillion, I think. And then there's some others. Facebook, I think, is up in there.
Yeah, they can afford it.
Somebody can buy it, but it's going to come from the tree of all the rich people who own everything else, which then leads to a whole nother conversation. Like Live Nation Ticketmaster is getting a monopoly charge right now because of the arenas and venues and ticketing stuff going on. So it's interesting because there's a lot of money in some people's ownership, and then those people are buying up more things. At what point does it all become like
Exactly. Yeah, that's why it feels like Meta and can't buy it. But also, who knows?
They're going to say it's going to be $84 billion for TikTok, but also like, I think who you're doing the deal with, I'm not necessarily
That was
sure.
combined with the other company. It was it's 50, I think, on its own was what it's valuated at.
Just as an American app?
Just as TikTok. TikTok and whatever other company combined is 84.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Last time they tried to have a sale, it was Larry Ellison and Oracle were
Larry.
in the mix trying to get
That
it.
guy just
He owns
buys
Hawaii.
islands. No,
Yeah.
he owns Lanai, one of the islands in Hawaii, which I didn't even know you were able to do. I didn't know you were just able to buy state.
Kind of sweet.
Really sweet.
Good to know.
You seen Zuck? Zuck is jacked now with sweet hair.
Yeah, he's jacked. He's hanging out with Dana White.
Got a beard.
Are him and T-Pain doing a podcast?
Maybe.
Really?
Him and Zuck?
I saw a T-Pain video, but T-Pain could have just been social mediaing, because he is a weapon on social media. I think on his Instagram, he put out a video of him and Zuck, and I think he said they're doing a podcast.
I also hear that. I don't know what that is.
Somebody's playing drums on a microphone. I'm like a dog that hears a door get knocked on when it happens.
Yeah, that sounds like it's one of those.
Oh, it's one of these guys?
Yeah.
Is that you, AJ? You smoking cigars into the microphone over there?
No, it's not me.
Somebody's fucking with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That was it.
He just did it on purpose, though.
I did it on purpose.
Stop ruining the show.
I didn't do it earlier. It's not me.
Something's
you
having
sure?
that DJ glow up. What DJ was that? It was super ugly. No, it's
David Guetta.
Calvin Harris.
There it is, him too.
Could
I think it was like 4 or 5 of them that kind of
Yeah.
went through a little bit of a spurt.
Who's that?
This DJ glow up that Zuckerberg is having right now. I didn't see him with T-Pain.
Well, yeah, I think he's doing. I think so. I don't know. I might not have seen something. Him hanging though at that UFC fight and going and talking to people, and then Max Holloway telling us he's not a robot. It's like big babyface turn for Zuck.
Good
here.
for Zuck.
He's getting into jujitsu. He's
Yeah.
doing this entire thing. Yeah, hold on. T-Pain, Zuck Pain coming soon.
Oh, is it like a podcast?
It was a commercial for the AI that they launched.
Oh,
Okay. I won't use that. Scares me. I won't even search on Instagram now.
Why is it up there? Yeah, I
Don't like it.
because I'm just
Where
thinking to
does-
myself, oh, this is gonna work against me.
Yep.
it's on Twitter too.
I refuse to search
Grok.
anymore.
Yeah, but that's down there in the middle. This meta search one is right at the top.
IG, you have to use it.
It's right there. Yeah, you're getting to dabble with AI on every app now, and I guess you can learn everything very quickly. I guess it really does make life a lot easier. But we heard it put out a Kendrick Lamar rap response to Drake, and it wasn't good.
Stunk.
No, it wasn't.
So hey AI, your bars suck, dude.
Yeah.
Get better bars.
Clowns.
Clowns. Speaking of
Sounds like they might. They will.
it sounds like how many years do you think until everybody's just AIing?
They said 2029.
Who's they?
Yeah.
The guy who 30 years ago was like, yeah, we had a conference in 1999,
Nostradamus.
Bilderberg.
and we tried to tell him like, hey, in 30 years this is going to be basically everyday life. And they're like, no, it'll be 100 years for sure. And now they're on track for 2029.
So will that be Gary V?
Yes.
Could be.
That's what you're talking about?
What do you
No,
mean?
the guy, he's like an AI godfather, one of those guys.
Gary
like
V.
actually has been working on AI his entire fucking life.
I'm going to see a clip of Gary Vee drinking wine, talking about artificial intelligence helping him do a search for NFTs or something like that from 2002 somehow, and it'll come out and be like, "I knew that's the Gary Vee thing, right?" And it like,
Yeah, why not?
yeah. So we're going to be should we start using it then? If we're going to
So what do you mean? Like use it as in how? Just it sounds like now you can use it if you need like I don't know research on something or you need to figure out I don't know. But
Well, you've had it
how do you
for-
think they're going to implement it into every single thing you do though? That's what I want to know.
well, it's going to start tracking you. I guess the algorithm's already AI, right? It's learning you.
Yeah, there's already AI used all over the place for all that.
Yeah, you're already getting AI'd.
You are?
Yeah,
I'm getting AI'd already with this algorithm.
I saw an AI fridge where it knows what exactly groceries you had in there, how
Yeah.
much you had. So, I don't have eggs. Boom, it's AI connected to Amazon. Amazon sending
So
you
now
eggs.
this goddamn fridge is telling my business to everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should see this guy. He was drinking Cherry Coke Zero just last night. About 10 of them. Well, fucking get off my dick, AI fridge.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine what the AI fridge?
What if I open that thing and it goes, are we sure? What if it's another one?
Hey, fat ass, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't need AI
Locks the
fridge.
fridge. It locks the fridge. Doesn't let you in.
Your insurance drops you because you're
chance.
reporting it directly to your insurance, so they drop you because you're getting obese or something.
Oh my God! What if AI fridge starts working against me, and then to open my fridge, let's say I'm trying to get cold water because I like cold water, and they say drop and give us 50. drop and give us 50. I'm like, excuse me, freak. What? I'm just trying to fucking get there.
That's how it starts.
What's that? You're
That's
worried
the
about
future.
it working against you?
Listen, I didn't think these fucking things. I think we could just unplug them.
Yeah.
I thought we could just unplug them.
Me too.
Can't do
Too
that.
late already.
These things
Already
run
too
on
late.
fear. Can't unplug that.
Well, we need to make sure we alpha these things then early.
We don't have
Might
enough
be too late.
alphas.
Might be too late.
Huh?
It might be too late.
Hey, I got rid of all the alphas.
These things are very
Thanks,
smart.
TikTok.
Yeah,
That's not accurate.
Yeah. But also.
You know who will stop this whole thing by himself? Jim Harbaugh. He's got a new tattoo.
Yeah, you're right.
Jim Harbaugh's got a new tattoo. And I love that it happened. I also like that he says, I'm impervious to pain. And he just stares this guy down as he gives him the entire tattoo in the office. 15-0 with the Michigan M. Congrats to Harbaugh and the Wolverines winning a natty. And this guy continuing to be one of the most interesting humans to ever exist, AJ. What a stallion. Don't you wish he was an Ohio State guy instead of a Michigan guy?
No, I have a ton of respect for what he has done and what he is as a coach. I told you, I saw firsthand, we saw how great that Michigan squad was that went 15-0. So good for him for holding up his end of the bargain. He said he'd do it, and here it is.
I think we could have added a little pizzazz.
Pizzazz. We definitely could put a lot of pizzazz on
Harbaugh
that.
tattoo of all time.
Yeah, I can't wait until he uses that as a. I've experienced pain recently.
It looks like a gel tat.
Yeah.
I've been watching
Maybe he
Unlocked.
likes that.
Still?
I made 5-6 episodes. I get it.
Okay. Pretty good, though, huh? 5-6. That's
It wasn't bad.
Community still sticking together?
Yeah, there was a little bit between the olds and the youngs. The youngs were about sick of the olds.
Sure.
That
That
happens. There was a little political. I don't know how it's going to end, though, so I guess I should watch the end of this. I think Zito has finished it, if I had to guess.
Yeah, they're back to being locked up.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody
they messed up. They started they started doing cigs, and everyone was smoking inside. That was the first time they
cigs taking down the whole town.
I mean, to be
Can't be
fair,
doing
a cig inside, there's really nothing like it.
not even a cig. They were making their own caffeine cigs. So
I like that.
Coffee.
caffeine sticks.
They were
Or
using
coffee
coffee
sticks.
sticks.
Zen
that they were
cigs?
smoking.
Yeah, it was
the
awesome.
two white trash ones were kind of the Oppenheimers of the entire thing.
They made the craziest thing of all time. I bet you watched that episode when they grabbed the battery and they made like the never-ending candle.
Oh, yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, with some wick down here. We need a lighter. Yeah, I mean, pretty brilliant stuff coming out of these fucking jail cells.
Innovative.
Very innovative.
Get that guy.
Good
in
show,
NASA.
though.
Maybe he would get us to space. It wasn't bad. Yeah, it was a good show. It was a nice social experiment, It's like a nice social. Because at the beginning, you think back to like the Stanford prison experiment or whatever, where the people that are labeled guards all just became assholes to the people that are labeled prisoners, even though just 2 days ago we were literally in the same class, and this isn't real, But you take on the title, so obviously you have to take on the attitude and the persona. And you do that. It's like at the beginning, the OGs in the cell kind of became the guards, like acting like the guards. And the young guys go from hating the guards to hating the OGs now. And now, it was like a pretty quick.
Because the old guys are saying, don't ruin this for us, I'm guessing.
Bingo. Yeah, that's their entire angle is like this. We can never fuck this up.
It's like a locker room. It's like a locker room. If you have a coach that you love, and the older guys tell you, I know, I talked to guys that played for Rex Ryan back in the day, like, hey, we want to keep Rex around. We are having a ton of fun. We love it. We love this dude. We have to win now to keep him here.
We'd like to not fuck this up. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what it was. It was a nice show. It was a good show.
I'll watch.
Yeah, it sounds like what happened after the last episode was all those youngs killed all those olds, though.
There was a time. There's a guy named Mayhem. His name was
Power player.
I forget what it was. Something MA name. Like let's say it wasn't Mark, but let's just say Mark and then Abraham last name. So they MA and then Ham at the end. They call him Mayhem. He was in there for capital murder. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He fucking doesn't play. Yeah. Mason Abraham. Abraham.
Okay, there you go.
And he even said he refers to himself in third person and says, "Yeah, sometimes I fucking make bad decisions. That's why I'm here." Yeah, like very open.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll lose my mind sometimes. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is, Mayhem. He's very good. He's a very good interview in this, Mayhem.
Is he? He's the best character.
The whites are pretty hilarious.
Okay. I just saw the trailer. There were some very interesting art on some of the whites too.
There's an older fella. There's an OG that tries to run the place. He's a good character too because he has good intentions, but he's still, he's ordering hits on people.
Still about it.
He's still. Yeah, right there, him.
That guy.
Yeah, he's the leader.
Did these guys get compensated for this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they paid him a bunch of money.
Definitely.
So much.
What a deal by Netflix. Okay, what can we not pay anybody for but create jails? All right.
Okay,
we need some more jail content.
A couple credits in the commissary.
Yeah, exactly. A couple honey buns.
All right,
Carrot
well,
cake.
let's get the fuck out of here, huh? We got a big one tomorrow, boys.
Huge.
We'll be one day closer to the Draft Spectacular
Yes.
Thursday.
Come on.
It's a big day. We are here. Right now, everybody sees Caleb Williams go number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears, which, have you heard? Our relationship with them is dead, probably.
Why? What happened?
Our plug there's gone. And, I think our plug there had to do a lot of work for us to get any.
New plug doesn't like us?
We don't know the new plug, I don't think.
He might.
But we're talking new plug now. Zito said we're trying to.
If I know Zito, he's going to work for this one.
Zito's talking to the new plug for sure. But I believe at the top of the mountain, there's somebody that sits there that isn't necessarily, the biggest fan of the old program.
Sure.
But I feel like us and Big Paul's got along.
Yeah, Virginia
great
doesn't
time.
like us?
Yeah.
Under
Whoa,
Virginia.
Whoa.
Tony Petiti?
No, that's the new commissioner of the Big Ten. We're talking about the old one.
Oh.
The one that said we're not playing football. Remember that?
Of course.
I mean, the truth hurts sometimes. That's just how life is.
Yeah, the one that said we don't want to play football. And
Yeah.
then Greg Sankey said, that's cute.
Yeah.
We're playing football.
And then Bob Carpenter showed up in Chicago throwing bricks through his window because he said we are playing football.
Speaking of, the General will be at Monday Night Raw tonight. Can't wait to see what he's wearing, how he's acting, and his state of sobriety. We should give him a call. He's fresh off a Bruce Springsteen concert last night.
Ooh.
Is that just a 2-day? He's just going now, huh? He's just going?
I guess. Bob is a big fan of live music, no question.
Yeah, I saw some videos of Bruce Springsteen bringing the house down.
Obviously.
In Columbus.
Best is listening to Bobby sing the songs in the videos that he is filming of Bruce.
Well, he's still a part of the vibes, because if he doesn't sing, everybody's going to stop singing, and we don't need that at this arena.
He better be singing for Cody Rhodes tonight. He better be screaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, the General Bob Carpenter.
Yeah, General!
General,
Come on.
how was Springsteen last night, and what do we just get done doing there, pal? Anything?
Coach, I just got out of the shower and got a little food. Springsteen was fantastic last night, though.
What's the mindset going into Raw tonight? Are we showing up shirtless? Are we getting in the ring? What's going on?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's a question I was about to ask you. What attire is appropriate? Last time I went to WWE was with AJ back with laryngitis when we were in college, and that was when I was a full meathead, so I have no idea what we were wearing.
Same shit. You know how you're still running sprints with the boys and still doing this stuff?
Not a meathead anymore.
I think, you show up as a meathead. I think you go back in time and be a meathead, back in time.
All right, so sleeves optional is what you're saying?
Absolutely,
Yep.
General.
Wear a uniform. You say your uniform, you could wear it. Ohio State.
They meant military uniform.
Not that one. Well, if you could get that one up too, maybe.
If you have this uniform, we would like you to steal all the valor this evening as you're sitting behind, I believe, me at commentary. Can't wait for that. Can't wait to see you tonight, brother.
Hey, excited. Thank you. It's going to be great, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the General Bob Carpenter.
Yeah, Bobo!
Fresh out of a shower. That's when you need to see the General. All right, let's get the hell out of here. I can't thank you guys enough. Great work today, boys. Great work.
You too.
Great work, everybody.
Hey, great work, Pat.
AJ, great work. We're back tomorrow. We're in the
Great
middle. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs,
Right.
Monday Night Raw in Ohio, obviously, as the draft looms over our heads. Just a few days away from dreams coming true, programs changing course, and maybe 32 busts getting drafted. All right, that's AJ Hawk. I'm Pat McAfee. Thank you to our guests that have joined us, to all the boys here. And for those of you that watch every single day and allow us to do this for a living, you're the greatest humans on earth. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
Goodbye.